The rehearsal is going great. I can't wait for the real show. No, okay, all right, that sounds all right.
There's a scientific study about how people. I know you're talking about the just the quality of your voice, but
Right.
I know there's a whole science of how people don't like the sound of their own voice.
Right.
So it's
That's why I
across
keep
the board.
twisting these knobs until I do like it.
Right, there you go.
I'm seeing a fully costumed Boba Fett behind us. Just fantastic. It's kind of a sky blue color, which means he might be a distant relative of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Those of you that are wondering, I'm dressed up as formal wear Boba Fett today. Boba Fett occasionally gets invited to, charity auctions, events, and formal things, and I thought I would dress up as formal wear Boba Fett. Oh, this might be good for the other guests as they come in. This was our backup microphone, and it's going to probably be the microphone.
It's got a pop filter, so that's instantly
You
better.
want to just unplug this and take his plug? Okay. Yeah, our other two guests will be here. Well, if you would like, I'd like for you to kind of just walk around and observe today, and then we're going to tape another podcast later today, and you can kind of give us your reflections on what you saw today.
Yeah, anything I can do, I'd be happy to help.
Absolutely. Any closing thoughts on the Artican Mall and the history of, or the future of, well, I guess we could say, I don't want to say iDrive. Where are we exactly located here?
Yeah, this is North iDrive.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And, iDrive keeps getting better, especially got Artagon right here, Gods and Monsters. All I can say is you have to get down here and experience it firsthand.
Yeah, you shouldn't be watching this on a podcast. You should be down here and experiencing this, and I guarantee once you walk in, you're going to suddenly look at your watch and 30 minutes has gone by.
Yeah. Unplug, man. Be here. Come say hi. And, come meet Todd. Come meet Anna.
Yes.
They're going to be taken away.
Seek them out and tell them what you think of the place, because they deserve all the reward. Well, Mark,
Thank you so much.
thank you for coming today.
Thank
you
you.
for being part of our rehearsal.
Of course.
Of course, it's not really rehearsal. I'm joking. This is actually on the air, we hope. But yes, we hope to see you again later today, and that's Mark from the Orlando Mall Guide. You can find his podcast on iTunes. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think our other guests are actually behind me because they just sent me a text saying that they were here, and I told them to come on over. How's this? You want to switch it now? No. Okay, we're going to put a better mic here for you.
No worries.
Because it was kind of iffy. I don't know which one it is. It's the wire underneath. Do you remember which one this was? Here, I'm tapping on it. 3. All right, I'm bringing down 3. This wire's for you. I just threw it at you. You just want to replace this and plug that in? Yeah, I heard it in my headset, but yeah, it was kind of coming and going. But yeah, do that. Wow, it's almost long enough to just plug straight in. Go ahead, turn it up.
Yeah, it looks like artists set up little stands and props.
Go ahead, give me a test.
What?
Give me a test.
Check.
I can't do a test. Go ahead and have a seat.
Let's
Give me a
give this
there you go. It's
give
good.
this a check.
Couldn't stop
Good.
it.
Check. You mind if I throw these on?
Go ahead,
Is
go
that
right
all
ahead. Yeah, let me know if you hear those okay, and let me know if your headsets work as well. Test. I'm sitting here
Test,
now
test.
with Billy and Hutch from Nerding Out About podcast. I believe you guys are also going to do a podcast today, or did you do one already, record one?
We did. We were very excited. We've got a little promo already to set up to celebrate Gods and Monsters.
Tell
So
people, can they find you on iTunes as well as your website? Tell us your website.
They can find us on iTunes. You can find us on Stitcher. You can find us at nerdingoutabout.com.
Nerdingoutabout.com.
We're on
Very good.
all the social media websites, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We've got a Friendster account. We're still waiting for that one sort of friend on Friendster. We haven't gotten that yet. So
Anybody in particular?
No.
Just looking for that one friend. Well, so you're very familiar with what goes on here in Central Florida.
Yes.
Trying to compare to what you see on a daily basis at the mall to what you're seeing today.
This is insane.
Yeah.
Right? This is insane. Like I've already kind of blown it up on the Facebook page of
Right.
like, you need to come down to Gods and Monsters because right now it is either the world's best comic book shop or the world's best permanent con right now. It's fantastic. Like everything that you could possibly get. You've got a coffee shop. You've got like the comics, the toys. Like I'm worried that I'm going to go home and my wife's going to divorce me because I've spent all of the money that we had on, comic books and toys and things like that. But
Last night I came and we were going to do the rehearsals, and we set up our audio and video, and everything was great because nobody was using the Wi-Fi.
Right.
Not the case now. But But I was setting up, and the things were going, and the videos were on the screens. There was some video commercials that I put together just for Gods and Monsters. They were up on the screens, and the music came through, and it was playing some Twin Peaks music because I love that show. And I called my wife and I said, I'm just not going home.
Yeah.
This is my new home. I love it here.
I don't know whether we should call this like a husband daycare. Do you know what I mean? Like, wives, do you want a day of shopping? You want a day to yourself? Drop your husband off. They'll spend all day here.
Yeah, just hold your husband's hand, walk him to the door, pat him on the head, and send him on inside. He'll be safe here for an hour or two.
Hutch, what do you think? I mean, because you've lived in Central Florida for longer than I have. I mean,
It's overdue.
Yeah.
This is nerd mecca here. It's absolutely amazing what they have available here between the artwork, the tchotchkes, all that. Like, my desk is going to forever change because of this store.
That is one of the unique things about not only this store but this mall. There's a place for local artists to come here and sell their artwork, and I can't think of any other place that's like that. Certainly not any other comic book store that's like that to this extent.
It's certainly the right direction for this mall specifically. Like, this mall has been kind of slow for the longest period of time.
Correct.
And it seems like you guys are doing like a cultural change here. You're connecting with the other stores in the area. It's very artsy feeling. It's incredible. It's a very awesome atmosphere.
It was very smart of them to get in with the other businesses here. I'm thinking of, I was here at 3 a.m. and the store across the way, I can't see the name of the sign there, it's kind of blocked, but they were here as well at 3 a.m. just getting their store prepared for today, and they've spoken with Todd Nana. They have kind of a business relationship. I kind of say it's like when David Letterman moved to Ed Sullivan Theater and Hello Deli suddenly became Hello Deli. You know, they got to become popular because of the store they were next to, and I kind of feel like every store in this mall is going to benefit from Gods and Monsters being here for sure.
Well, I think it's true. I think we're living in the era where, like, what do they say? The geek shall inherit. Like,
Right.
I feel like this is becoming less like non-mainstream, and this is becoming the norm. Like, people are coming out. Like, you've got like fathers and sons and mothers, and you've got whole families. It's like I was walking up, they were like, "Yeah, we're going to a comic book shop, and it's got to have toys, and it has everything now." You
Yeah,
know?
it's changed how family friendly it's all become, and this store is a perfect example of that for sure. My 11-year-old and my 7-year-old are here right now in costumes around here, hopefully with their mother, and they're just they're a part of this culture now. I mean, in a way, everybody is in one form or another. If you don't love science fiction movies, you may love comic books. I mean, there's something here for everyone.
You mentioned you were here at 3 a.m. Was
Yeah.
that like to work, or you were
We were just doing audio and
they
video
couldn't
tests.
get you out of the store?
No,
from-
yeah. Well, since there was somebody here, one of the employees here has just been sleeping here. He does his work and then he falls asleep in the back offices. That's Mouse. Mouse was the one who stayed here last night. Spider has also been spending many nights here, just working right up until the day of the launch. And so there's always somebody here.
Well, I don't know if who we can talk to, be it a manager or something like that, but to initiate sort of grown man sleepovers here at the store, get some vintage video games going, and maybe some old movies.
I
You
think
know
we're
what I
onto
mean?
something.
Like-
The back room where the projector is, we
Right.
could, and they'll have, they said Netflix or whatever hooked up to that as well. I mean,
Perfect. I'm thinking Smash Brothers tournaments.
this
Maybe
is the place to do our binge watching, perhaps.
See, there you go.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
you go. Maybe all of the Star Wars movies before the next movie comes
I
out.
imagine
you know?
with this movie coming out in December, this is the place you're going to want to be before that movie comes out.
Right. Well, we did record a podcast earlier today, but one of the things that we like to do on Nerding Out About is we have a Bob Hollywood segment.
Hollywood.
This is where you're given the keys to the kingdom, and you're able to sort of come up with your way of doing certain franchises or certain movies. So we wanted to, as to extend a leaf, a comic book bouquet to the people of Gods and Monsters to welcome them as official friends of the Nerding Out About podcast. We wanted to propose a Bob Hollywood question to you.
Okay.
So your mission.
Go ahead with your question, caller.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, you need to give me a superhero franchise that hasn't been done yet and cast the movie for me and show me how to do it. So it can be any superhero, but it can't have been touched already. It can be in
okay.
it can be in the back catalogs. It can be a superhero that most people have never heard of. Who do you cast? How do you do the movie?
My first thought was The Tick, but it has been done, but not in the feature film capacity. It's been done as a cartoon and then as a TV show.
No, but there's a rumor that that they're working
They're
on.
supposed to be coming back with that. I did
Yeah.
hear that, and I heard it from him, I believe, in an interview, that he said that it was coming back. I think it may have been coming back. I don't know if it was with Fox again. Unfortunately, it didn't last very long on Fox. But to have the Tick, look at that, the Tick.
I had
To
to.
have the Tick come back again and have it be Patrick Warburton. How do you say his last name? Patrick Warburton?
Yeah,
Warburton.
Warburton.
I mean, what a perfect casting call that was with him.
Oh my god.
I think, unfortunately, the show came out right around the time of September 11, because I was working at the Fox station here in town. That's where I currently work. And I remember that coming out, and it didn't hit. And it's such a shame because Tony Shalhoub, wasn't he also on that as well?
He was on that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, just a fantastic casting on that show. I would love to see that taken to the next level and go and be a movie. But that's not really answering your question, is it?
No,
I
it's
mean, you have to
not.
think-
I didn't want to like.
I know. I was diverting.
Come
I was
at you.
deflecting. I was
This is-
deflecting. Wow, look at these costumes. Deflect.
Oh, this is
'Cause
great.
I
Yeah,
got
look at
I got to think about something. Well, let me think in the back of my head. What's something that hasn't been utilized yet?
Well, there's plenty of different like superheroes, and that's why I love coming here because right now we have all of these like sort of mainstream references. Like if
Of
you look
course.
up, you see like
Gotham.
Asylum Receiving and,
Yes,
and
yes.
Arkham and things like that. But then you look right next to it, and it's Howard the Duck.
Howard
I
the
mean,
Duck, who just recently made an appearance, spoiler alert, at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy. But fantastic to see him here. I think he's well represented because I believe Todd is a fan, a very big fan.
Yeah. Well, that was the first Marvel movie. We
Yes.
talk about that on the show all
Wow,
the
I didn't
time.
think
I'm
about that, yeah.
The very first how harrowing
Right.
is that the very first Marvel movie ever done
Yeah.
was Howard the Duck.
Gosh, now was the next one after that the Captain America from 1990?
Oh my gosh,
I
where he's
think
on.
so. Yeah,
Oh,
I think it was
wow.
Captain America was next.
No wonder it disappeared for a couple of decades.
Yeah,
Where
that
he's-
was a rough movie.
Yeah,
he's
that
on the
was rough.
motorcycle and like yeah. That
I can
was.
remember I was working at a movie theater in 1989, and they put up the teaser posters, and all it was the Captain America shield. And I'm like, this is it, here we go. After the successor or the hype for Batman, which was about to come out, and then, oh boy, that had student film written all over it.
Hutch.
And then Marvel kind of just disappeared for a while in theaters.
Yeah. Well, Hutch, what about you, man? If you could take any sort of, I know you're not a big comic book guy. You tend to be more on the cinematic like side of things. Like, if you could create a superhero, what if we brought something back too? I'll let you revitalize a franchise now. We'll
Not-
extend
not
the
the-
rules
not
a
the
little
Tick.
bit.
I already did that
Not the Tick though. You could revitalize a franchise, or maybe take an older. You know what I would love to see a reboot of, and this is completely out of comic book worlds. Greatest American Hero.
Oh,
you remember?
absolutely.
You remember that television show, The Greatest American Hero?
Vaguely.
Nicky
Vague-
Cat, Nicky, what was his name? Cat was his last name. The actor, the star of the show.
Oh my gosh,
Let's
this
say
is
it,
what
was,
we
it
need.
wasn't Nicky Cat. It was
No, but it was.
with the blonde, with the curly hair, and
But
and then the hot chick from the TV show Hotel.
Oh.
God!
And it
But
was.
you're absolutely right. And somebody must be working on that right now, right? Somebody
has to be.
somewhere has to be working on that.
It's a good mixture of like superhero comedy and action and get like an actor. I hate to say Chris Pratt, but you can
Right.
put him in.
Oh, geez, that guy.
Put him in.
By the way, Chris Pratt today. I just read one review from the Wall Street Journal.
Uh-oh.
They're killing this movie.
Oh, did you see it?
No, I have not seen it. So after I read half the review, I stopped because I really want to see it for myself. But the Wall Street Journal today, or
This is
yesterday, just
Jurassic World.
destroyed it. Yeah.
Just go in with
Can you put your headsets on? I want to ask you a question.
just go in
This
with Rock.
This flip camera is dead, but I have another one that's zipped up in a case. Can you just hit record on that one, and we'll just keep going? Because I don't want to lose that last camera. But yeah, I don't want to read any more reviews. I really want to see it for myself.
If you go in with rock bottom expectations, because I couldn't
Right.
wait, I had to see it the night of.
Right.
And go in with rock bottom expectations, and the only way you can go is up.
Good.
I mean, honestly, the film suffers in a lot of like eye rolling, like, oh my God, really? You're going with this stereotype or that stereotype? But the film is actually it's decent.
Well, that's good to hear. I can do that if you want, Greg. I know what to do.
But to answer your question,
hit
Billy,
record.
I would love to see a film adaptation of a short-lived comic book series where it was Superman versus aliens.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
I think that would be amazing. Superman loses all of his powers because of the darkened atmosphere of LV-426.
That's a great. It's
And,
recording.
Yeah, I think that would be
That's a great idea.
yeah. And it was Superman with the chest burster coming out. Booyah.
Okay.
That's
I'll
good.
allow it.
What about you? What's your answer, Billy? Let's hear you're revitalizing a comic book franchise. You're going to breathe life into something cinematically. What do you do?
I feel like I would lean more towards the darker side of comic books. I enjoyed the Spawn movie. I might go back and see like an R-rated
Right.
Spawn, like a much darker version of Spawn. There was a short fan film that came out on YouTube and stuff like that, and I feel like
The
it kinda,
Punisher?
No, of Spawn.
Oh, of Spawn.
And it took place in like a grocery store. You know what I mean? Like of all places for it to take place. But it's great. It's on YouTube. Maybe that or Resurrection Man. Resurrection Man was a superhero that every time he died, when he came back to life, life, he had a different power that he had to
Oh,
master.
very interesting.
Was he striving from life to life, striving to put right what once went wrong,
Hey, how are you doing? Welcome to the show.
and hoping that each revitalizing his
be
next
the-
revitalizing home?
Yes.
Sorry, every
That's-
episode we always find a
that's
way
good.
to include Quantum Leap into something.
And with your idea, with your question, you got to think about what's going on right now on Netflix. And I almost said Daredevil.
What did you think? What did you think? Did you see
I'm,
it?
I'm 2 episodes in it, and I just love it. And I think The Punisher, for example, you were saying, or what was the movie you just mentioned before that? Spawn.
Spawn.
Imagine that coming back as a TV show on Netflix. So you know they got to be thinking about that stuff.
What did you think of the new Punisher casting news for Daredevil season 2?
I don't know yet. I mean, it's tough to. I mean, remember how many people thought about Michael Keaton being Batman? Where it was like, what? Mr. Mom's gonna be Batman? You gotta see it play out, I suppose.
Yeah.
However, how many people are thinking about who Batman's gonna be now and saying, man,
Batfleck.
I don't know.
You're not excited about Batfleck? I am so excited because if he's good, it's going to be like Heath Ledger
I
as
know.
the Joker.
It-
It's
it
like
is
the
true.
10 things I hate about you guy was the Joker. Like, you'll accept it, and
Yes, closer.
it
Is it bumping? Oh, if I turn my head like this, does it sound so good? You're saying? Okay. Is that
You look-
better if I just up? Now the Star Wars music is pumping through the store, the cantina ground.
I kind of feel like with that microphone that you're using, you should have a cord
I know.
hanging down
Ladies
so
and
you can
gentlemen,
just
in this corner.
let's get ready to nerd out.
What have you guys thought about the photos that have come out for Harley Quinn? I
Oh.
stared at that photo for so long, I almost didn't notice Will Smith. For a
You
few
didn't
minutes.
notice he was in
Wait,
the picture.
he was
Right.
in there?
Exactly.
It's okay. I mean,
Doing okay?
we're leaning more towards, sort of like a darker retelling of Harley Quinn. I don't know how. I feel better about Harley Quinn than I feel about Jared Leto Joker right now, with all
Yeah.
the tattoos and the sort of like purple.
Chrome teeth.
I saw something on Yahoo the other day, like you gotta Jared Leto photos just coming out, crazy new Batman. You need to see this, and it's like, nah, I don't need to see it. I'd rather see it in the theater and be surprised by it.
You don't like the internet telling you
I
what
don't
to
like
do.
things leaking out. I've done a very good job of, and I did this with The Phantom Menace. I didn't watch the trailers. I don't want to know. Trailers are made to convince you to go see movies. I don't need to be convinced. I'm going to go see the new Star Wars movie. Believe me, you don't have to convince me. So I've stayed away from the trailer.
So your disappointment was completely unbiased when you walked into
Right,
the theater
right,
of
right.
episode 1.
I remember the closing credits and the circle came down, and I was like, that was it?
And then I sat there and wept with
Right.
all the other nerds.
And then unfortunately, I sat and watched it again, as we all did.
And again and again.
Because we
Because that's
watched
one
it
of
a
those
second
movies.
time where I was like, maybe I was just having an off night. Let's watch it again. And that's why it was the highest
Yeah,
box
I've been-
office movie for many years.
I've been having one of those off days for 17 years now. it's never worked.
Well, I know confidence is high for the new Star Wars movies for sure.
The
Yes.
Force Awakens.
It's in the right hands.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah, what did you think of the reboot with Star Trek? What do you?
When I first saw it, and as many people do, they protect the original series. They keep it very close to their heart. And when you see a movie come in and says we're going to travel through time and erase all of that, my thoughts at the end of the movie was, okay, now where's the part where they go back and they correct the timeline? No, they're not going to do that. Why? So that they can start the whole timeline over. So at first I was like, I wasn't happy with that. But then after a while I realized this timeline is this timeline, and we loved it and enjoyed it growing up. And this is something new, and I'm okay with that now.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Simon Pegg recently started talking a little bit about the script since he's working on Star Trek 3.
Oh.
And he's talking about how they're going to do new aliens and new storylines and
Right.
things
It's
like
not
that.
necessary to bring up the same old aliens and green dancing chicks. Not that I can complain about that.
Why would you say that?
Right.
Why would you get rid of
Yeah.
the green alien girls?
But
I mean,
absolutely, bring new creatures in. Why not? I mean, this is a different timeline. You don't have to bring the Tribbles in, even though they've already done that. You know, bring us some new things.
Can we dream too the fact that like JJ just like very secretly sneaks in the Millennium Falcon in the Star Trek
yeah.
3? Just really quick, just a flyby, like Chewie's mooning them as they fly by. Do you know what I mean?
He knows his audience. He knows the internet is the place to just give us just a little hint of something like that, and then just move on. That's very good that he does that. Little teases.
I absolutely loved in an interview recently. JJ was talking about how he wanted to have like a small pile of bones in the background of the desert for episode 7, where that's going to be Jar Jar. That's what happened to Jar Jar. JJ killed Jar Jar for the rest of us
He
nerds.
filmed it. He filmed it apparently, and he tried to be like, "Hey, can we put this in?" And they're like, "We can't do that. It'll piss
God,
off George."
I remember years ago at maybe it was at Celebration, somebody from the Dave School created a cartoon of Han Solo and Chewbacca and we found out that when there was a flashback to when they were boarded, because Han Solo says, "Hey, everyone gets boarded sometimes." He had to ditch his cargo.
Yeah.
His cargo was Jar Jar Binks, who was then discarded out into space, and it was just a great little 10-minute cartoon that the Dave School Institute had put together, and they showed it at Celebration. It was a great idea.
Give the fans what they want.
Give the fans what they want. Tie everything together. So, what else have you seen here today? I mean, I've been over to the art gallery a little bit, but what else is it that you're seeing? Or perhaps let's look towards the future. What else do you want to see here in the future at not only the Artigan Mall, but perhaps Gods and Monsters?
Honestly, it's everything that I thought it was going to be and more. So I can't even go beyond that. I could see some themed nights definitely in the future.
That's what I was going to say. The theme nights, especially Star Wars coming up.
Star Wars coming up. I mean, they've got those tables back there. Maybe some Cards Against Humanity. I don't know what the plans are for that back court, but I saw those tables.
Yeah, it's going to be for the kids who play the card games, the Magic the Gathering and stuff like that. But there'll be also other events that I'm not familiar with right now.
Craft beer night, perhaps. Can we do?
Very good.
I'm thinking beer, comics, two great tastes taste great together.
That is a great idea.
I like where your head's at, McCoy.
Plus, no kids, right? It's 21 and over. And
That's
be like,
right.
they start showing up, and be like, sorry.
That's right. I drive by on 1792 near 436. There's a store. All it says on the wall is games. I don't know what the name of the store is, but I drive by it all the time, and it's always busy, and it's always the kids at the tables playing the card games. I mean, it is so popular still. I mean, I'm thinking Pokemon, but it's much more than that. The Magic the Gathering. I mean, it's so much more than that.
Right.
And I see that store always packed. The tables are always full. The parking lot is always full. And that's what I think is going to be going on here at the back end of the store, and having that side entrance is going to be really beneficial for them, not wanting to deal with all hours.
Could we do a Dungeons and Dragons night, you think,
Oh,
too?
my God, absolutely.
What if we had like a live action LARPing, like where we had people
and
showing
we have
up
the
in
camera up,
costumes?
and we can put it up on the projector and have some live action
Oh, this is great.
opportunities. Some of the Phase 2 stuff they talked about, they were mentioning how when you look into where you check out of the store here, you see
Yes.
the prison cells for the different villains. They're going to have, right now they're just painted on windows, but they're going to have TV monitors in there, and they're going to go and shoot something where you see like the character walk by the screen, like peeking through their window. I mean, the detail that's in the store is fantastic. And that's just something that they just happen to mention to me in passing that they're going to be doing here soon.
Oh my god. One of the things that I loved right off the bat is that you guys have vintage arcade systems in the back.
Yeah, I got to mention that thanks to Bart and Free Play, I want to make sure I say it right. Free Play Florida and Bart, sponsored the free games today, which are not only in the back corner here, but they're throughout the mall. I mean, out next to the kiosks and stuff. Another thing that I'm sure the store owners love about that this is spilling out into the store.
Well, it's also a big deal too that a lot of the artists and some of the proceeds from today are going to the Heroes Initiative.
Hero
It's
Initiative.
a huge charity. We've supported it in the past. We've got friends that have supported it, and it going to comic book artists who are sort of retired. And,
Yeah, I was going to ask you maybe go into a little bit more of a detail. I was going to have Todd come in and describe Hero Initiative to us.
Sure.
But if you want to go into a little bit more description of what the Hero Initiative has done for some of the artists.
Oh, Heroes Initiative, they've always got representatives at some of the major cons and things like that. And it's basically comic book artists don't have any sort of sense of retirement. It's a weird business, especially some from the older generation. So basically, Heroes Initiative is a program set up to help these artists, be it with, I believe sometimes it's medical costs, sometimes it's retirement costs,
Right.
the cost of living and things like that. And it's honestly one of the best charities that you can donate to, because who here is not at the store that hasn't enjoyed a comic book or a hero or a person created by some of these artists? So it's a great way for you to give back and to show your love and support.
What a fantastic charity, and I'm glad to see that Todd and Anna support that. And I'm thinking today it's getting a lot of support. I saw a banner set up over there. I didn't know if that meant there was somebody here from the Hero Initiative.
Right
But-
now, there's a silent auction going on with the proceeds from that silent auction going to the Heroes Initiative. So I would encourage anybody that's listening to this or that's here at Gods and Monsters to go over and visit that. I know some of the comic book artists over there, Carlos Caballero, who's a friend of the Nerding Out About podcast, are donating a portion of the proceeds to the Hero Initiative. Some of the artists that we have over there in the Artist Alley.
Right. Do you,
There's
happen, do you happen to know what are in any of the silent auctions? I didn't get to see any.
Oh
of the
gosh,
ones
yeah. There's an amazing sort of like blown glass Darth Vader sort of panel. There's a full-on beautiful portrait of Harley Quinn. There's a zombie makeover at Lake City Con coming up, but it's a full-on movie quality zombie makeover right now. There's a There's a kit full of like hot sauce and different like cooking powders and things like that over there. It's anything that you could possibly imagine. A lot of some variant comic books. I think there's a collection of 5 variant comic book covers that you can get over there. And right now, the bid is starting to slowly climb as people are seeing not only like how many people are in the store, but what good they can do for Hero Initiative. So go over there and bet. I'm sure you'll find some hidden gems over there that you will never be able to find anywhere else, but here at Gods and Monsters on opening day.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit more about your podcast. How many days a week do you do yours? And you tape them, and then I think, like you called me the other day, like we tape and then they air on Sundays, or is it different days of the week?
No, all episodes launch on Tuesday mornings.
Okay.
And it's a once-a-week podcast unless we have interviews, which we've interviewed a lot of people. It's a very Star Trek heavy show. We've been trying to drift a little bit more into other mediums, but like we've managed to have Doug Drexler, who was one of the makeup artists on The Next Generation and a visual effects artist who's been involved with Battlestar Galactica, all of the Star Treks.
Were these phone interviews, or were you actually with them?
No, these were over Skype and phone.
Okay,
Done both.
quality-wise, I'm just curious for my own reasons. How does that work when you're trying to communicate with somebody like that through the Skype and the?
I've had
phones?
better luck with Skype. Phone, it's always going to come in a little bit fuzzy sounding.
Right.
And sometimes, like I run it directly into the soundboard.
Right.
So sometimes the quality they have a hard time hearing us from time to time.
Right.
I find that using Skype is probably the best option.
All right. Good to
And
know.
definitely one of the things is if your guest has a microphone hooked up to their computer, it's best that they use that, because if they're just using the mic on the phone, on the computer,
Right.
it's going to throw off the audio because they're going to hear the audio from you speaking at them, and
Yeah,
that
that's
just kind of
good.
messes it up. But
So you mentioned you've been doing Star Trek podcasts. Any other topics you've been touching on recently?
Most of the podcasts that release are, we take a movie, either a beloved movie or a cult classic or just a movie that you even love to hate, and we dive into it. We call ourselves cinematic archaeologists. We go through the movies and we find all the cinematic like facts that you never knew about it, possible casting choices for the movie. We're actually going to record The Goonies tonight. Other movies that we've covered are The Abyss. What are some of our more
Terminator 2,
Terminator 2.
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
God, that's funny. I think of this store when I think of Galaxy Quest. You know, if you have the audience for them, and they'd be dressed up, and we have the crew come in and have a giant ship crash into the store. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
They had an amazing Star Trek convention, right, where they ranked all of the movies, and for fun, they threw in Galaxy Quest, and it came in number 4 out of all of the Star Trek movies that have ever been released.
I was going to say it did at least better than the one Shatner directed, but it did even better than that, it sounds
yes,
like.
and we've covered that one as well. Like we've covered, give us a listen. You'll probably find a movie on there or an interview of somebody that you'd love to hear some sort of backstories on, or a movie that you love that you'd like to learn a little bit more about, so that when you're sitting here at Gods and Monsters playing Pokemon cards in that back corner, waiting for your craft beer to be delivered to you, you can be like, well, did you know that this particular actor was the...
Do you have an upcoming episode that you want to promote? I mean, you just recorded one here. Do you have anything else coming up in the future that you know you're going to be podcasting about?
Yeah, keep an eye out, keep an ear out for the Goonies. I'm excited about that. That's sort of a love fest.
We also have an upcoming follow-up to our interview with Vic Mignogna, he's a voice actor that's done a lot of animated films, like
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes. He also plays Captain Kirk on the Star Trek Continues web series, which, if you haven't seen, phenomenal.
Fantastic. Yes.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
There aren't a whole lot of episodes of those, and I keep wanting more of that.
Yeah.
Speaking of green dancing aliens, like that was one of the episodes.
Yes.
Yeah, Lilani.
Was that the first one?
Yeah, that was the first full episode.
They used her
Lilani.
right away. They're like, we're gonna redo Star Trek. Give me the green chick.
Yeah.
away.
We're going to have a follow-up with him. I'm sure we'll get Doug Drexler back on the podcast before.
Absolutely.
And we're trying to get a friend of ours to come on the podcast, George Perez, who's a famous comic book artist.
Yeah.
And, keep an ear out. And
this live podcast ends at 11:30, so we just got a couple of minutes left. So
Sure.
it's Billy and Hutch Nerding Out About podcast. They can
Boom.
find that on iTunes.
Yes.
And they can find that on your webpage at...
www.nerdingoutabout.com.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. I mean, this is Gods and Monsters. This is what we want to do here. We want to interview other podcasters, tell us, what they think of things that are coming in here, what to expect in the future. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you
for
sir.
having us.
Now, here's the weird part. We don't take commercial breaks. You're just going to stand up, take your headphones off, and then walk away very strangely.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yep. because it's live. But thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. Good luck.
I've been listening for your podcast. You can still hear me? Everything's okay?
Yeah, everything's great.
Thanks again. Nice to meet you, Art.
I think we only got a couple of minutes left, Rodney, if you want to come back. And Greg, get in the shot, Greg.
Oh, all right.
Will this be ending at 11:30? Did you set it up to still end at 11:30? Thank you. I totally got to get business cards.
We're on a completely new one.
Oh, okay, so it's not going to end at 11:30. Oh, well, actually, that's good. Then we can actually sit and talk for a while.
Let you know.
Yeah, we can do anything we want at this point because it's just basically
Which
now
one is this one?
broadcasting.
Which headsets we got here?
You are 2, 3?
Whatever, just turn me down. There we go.
Is that better?
Oh, yeah.
He had that cranked.
He did. He apparently cannot hear too well.
They're professionals. They need to really listen and hear what's going on.
I said something earlier about how we're going to slightly do our impression of Jerry Lewis out here doing a telethon without any commercial breaks. But Jerry walks off stage once in a while, I got to say.
Well,
we're just nonstop here today.
So, just so you know, for the if we are actually technically on what's called the 1055 Gods and Monsters thing. I had to make a new one,
Did you?
and we're up on the air.
I was going to say, should I put that link on the Facebook page?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
This is actually working.
I'm going to do that while you guys talk.
It's technically behind 3 minutes.
So I've seen a lot of things going on behind me that I can't get a good look at. Tell me what's going on behind me while I do this.
Well, I mean,
We got a long line of
long
people
line.
with things in their hands waiting to buy. So very
Well, we can-
anxiously
yeah.
waiting to buy.
and put this in your little messaging that the reason why things are slow is that we are at the mercy of the Artigan. That's the 1055.
That's the one I should send the link
That
to
is
now.
the link to right now.
All right.
We're at
Gods
the-
and Monsters 1055. Not that this matters to you watching this right now.
Right.
Copy. Facebook.
Yeah, when you open a new place, a new store, there's about 1 million things that you have to take care of to get it up and running.
Right. And one is the internet.
One is the internet.
Imagine
and-
it.
We believe that's another reason why the line is so long and taking so long to go through is because they are also at the mercy of the Artigan
Right.
Wi-Fi for their transactions, for any kind of sales transactions.
All right, I just published that to the Facebook page. The live show continues. Gods and Monsters 1055. That's code for something, right? Is that code for 1055? No, that's,
No, it's not. Yeah.
I think we all do meth.
that's something else.
We all do meth at
That's
10:55.
code for the kilobaud. That's what it is. The kilobaud.
We all
speed.
take a nap because we're
Right.
old.
All right, now I'm going to actually click on that link and see what happens.
Yeah, you'll see us eventually here. I had to make everything a lot smaller and work within our
All
little.
right, so
internet.
also bandwidth issues.
You name it.
Oh yes.
So
All
what
right,
you-
so I clicked on it. So,
all right. So basically, for those who are wondering at home here on our, you actually see, there we are.
All right, I got you.
The deal is simply this: is that,
Well, I look goddamn ridiculous.
well, that's a given. So,
Oh, and just to let you know, anytime that you have another computer wanting to watch this stream, that's sucking more bandwidth.
right,
So you know.
right.
I'm part of the problem.
Right,
Because I've got
exactly.
2 laptops watching.
Right.
Oh yes, we have a send, we have a receive, we have a receive, we have a
Turn
receive.
your Wi-Fi off.
right. Everyone, put your phones in airplane mode.
That's the name of the podcast. We'll just call it
Airplane mode.
I think in a little bit I'm going to go wander outside and see some of these video games that they have. I saw
Yeah.
they have a Killer Instinct over there. I
Yeah.
haven't played that game in forever, ever.
Killer Instinct. I
heard
still
of
haven't
that
got a
one.
chance. I want to get to it before somebody breaks it because I remember how easily it broke. Was the Star Wars game?
Oh,
remember where you
yeah.
hold the joystick of the X-wing
Oh, yeah.
and you know it eventually would break.
Well, let's see.
Okay, now this is a good sign. They're bringing in the little barriers.
All right.
Because the lines to check out have gotten so crazy that they're
Right.
wrapping around in weird places and they want to start, doing the Disney thing with them, left, right, back,
And
and forth.
and the reason why the lines are long, if there's a bunch of people here, and the internet is sadly slow
Yes.
for this opening, which
Yes.
is not any of their fault.
I know.
So this is not a Gods and Monsters fault.
Right.
In fact,
There's
no.
nothing but good problems today.
Right.
Where everything is fine.
In the very near future, this is all going to be taken care
Right,
of, and
it'll-
you're going to be
it'll
able to come down to Gods and Monsters and pick up whatever you need, and very speedy checkout. I'm
Right.
sure it's not going to be a situation like it is today.
No. But for them, this is a good problem to have. The lines are packed. Ever since almost we started the podcast, there's been a line at the checkout counter, which is a
Right.
great thing. And we can't even see the other checkout counter that's way behind us all the way over at the back door.
Oh, I see it.
and if actually to really describe kind of what really this whole event kind of feels like, It's like a mini comic book convention.
It is,
Right.
and that's what the guys that
Right.
just left said. It's like they don't know if this is the best comic store or the best continual con
Right.
going on.
Right. Actually, it might be what it is, the continuing con.
And I could see them wanting to have a small con here. Con! Just put all the tables. They could put all the tables out here. What store owner wouldn't love it if they had tables just lined up in the hallways
Oh, are you
here?
kidding me? Yeah.
This, to me anyway, this seems even bigger than the grand opening, which I was here for.
For the Artigan itself?
Yeah, I mean, the Mayor Dyer was here. He cut the ribbon. Hey, everybody applauded.
Right.
They had some giant guys out on stilts and performers, and we came in and walked through the mall. But I'm not seeing the buzz like I'm seeing today.
I think something they might be able to do is once a month have a mini con here.
Actually,
and that might be an interesting thing because a lot of kids and adults, let's be real.
Right.
A lot of people,
Large kids.
make ridiculous costumes and put so much time and effort into them, and it wouldn't be bad for them to have a place to go in between the major cons.
Right.
That's not going to be $150 per day.
Right.
Where they could just
Yeah.
come and show off and
Just
and,
come for free,
and,
right.
sort of beta test their costumes and such.
Absolutely, it's a fantastic idea. There's a couple of cons coming up. I know there's one coming up in Tampa at the end of July, and they just had that spooky one, which I can't remember the name of.
Spooky Empire.
Spooky Empire, thank you. Where a lot of the Walking Dead cast were there,
Oh yeah.
and
Actually, last week there was a little toy
yeah,
con
there's
down in
another one.
iDrive.
I mean, so
Is Daryl there? I got to meet Daryl.
Daryl.
I'm kidding.
Daryl was at the spooky one, I think.
Yeah, I think he
Spooky
was.
Con.
I
Daryl
think he
there
was.
for
He
that.
does a lot of the cons.
So what's his name?
With his
Spooky Con.
crossbow.
Is his name Spooky Con Daryl?
Spooky Daryl.
Spooky
Daryl's the
Con
one with the
Daryl.
crossbow in The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
Very well loved character.
Right.
So
let me take it off the rails here for just a second.
Go.
As I was walking out the side door, I noticed that they had Tron.
Tron in
end
the
of,
doorway.
End of line there at Tron.
Was the neon light on or the black light?
I didn't notice. But I've got some sad, terrible, sad news.
Oh, no.
There will be no
Tron 3.
Tron 3.
Tron 3
Very
now.
sad times because it was announced months ago that they were going to begin shooting in Canada, and it was a go. Olivia Wilde was a go. So you knew that meant her character was going to be the focus of the third movie, and then a movie called Tomorrowland came out with George Clooney, and then
just
Disney
Tank
decided
City.
that live-action films are not their thing right now. And the same day that Tomorrowland's reviews and box office reports came out, it was announced that Tron 3 is a no-go.
Do you know anything specifically about Tomorrowland? I mean,
About the movie?
is it a bad movie?
No,
or
no,
is it
I saw the movie, and
Oh.
the kids and I liked it, but it's over 2 hours long. It was like 2:10 or 2:15, and that's too much for a movie that you kind of want your kids to go to.
Right.
And there were some confusing times where the kids were in the movie theater, and it's like, no, it's anytime time travel involves or wormholes or stuff like that. It's
yeah.
like, now why is he doing this? It's to protect the future from this happening, and it's like, where's Wikipedia? I need help.
We
So
need a diagram.
If that happens, then yeah, there's a problem with your movie, even if it is George Clooney that's starring in it.
I understand.
Right.
It's unfortunate because there were really, really cool visuals in this movie right from the get-go. When you've seen the trailers where you pick up the pin and you're
Yeah.
in this other world, and this girl picked up the pin and she walked through this world, and the camera followed her around. It was really well done, but
See, I've
it's
not
gonna
seen
get
I've not
lost.
seen the film yet. When I saw the original trailer, I thought, wow, that's a really, really interesting, cool idea. I have no idea
Right.
what this is about. And then when they released the extended trailer, I thought to myself, wow, this is not the movie I thought it would
Right.
be. Not even close.
The
Now it's
question-
like an action adventure, like thriller almost.
The question becomes, who is this for, kids or adults? Because
Good point.
kids are struggling with seeing a 2-hour plus movie and time travel issues. And then adults are like, yeah, even some of these complex plot lines are a little bit much. So it's going to get lost in a shuffle of big movies that are coming out. Jurassic World being one of them that's out
Yeah.
today, out yesterday. But as I was saying to Billy and Hutch, as I look over at my notes, Jurassic World review
I
came
still
out.
love their show in the 70s.
The New York Billy and Hutch. Billy used to slide across the hood, right?
Right, yeah.
The New York.
Gran Torino.
No, the Wall Street Journal did a review of Jurassic World, and they just ripped it.
I've heard it's kind of preachy. I don't know.
Yeah, they get a little heavy-handed maybe with.
I
some
don't know.
stuff.
Blackwater dinosaur style.
Oh, okay.
Does that
I
fourth
don't know.
microphone work behind Greg?
Yeah.
Because it'd be great to have Spider come sit down. Spider,
Well, I'll move over.
You have a
I'll
minute?
move over.
do you have a minute to just sit with us? We're still live here. We just want to get your impressions of. Here, have a seat right there.
Yeah.
This is Spider, who's been working here endless, night and day for weeks, I may say months.
He looks
You wanna
tired.
Try the headsets there.
Ooh, this one's weird.
He's probably a little tired. Does your mic need to come down, Greg, or is that okay?
I'm just a little
Okay,
bassy and
Go
weird.
ahead, you can just pick that up and hold it, Spider, so we can hear you clearly. So the ribbon was cut, and now it has begun. There's no turning back. Tell us what the last, let's say, 48 hours has been like for you personally. That explains it all right there, folks. That explains
That's
all.
it. Thank you, Spider.
Yeah, but it's fantastic here. The detail of things is fantastic. I was describing to one of my interviewers that I can recall a month or two back, you were over there on that brick wall, just putting the lightest touches on these bricks to just give them that weathered kind of old look to them, so that they didn't look brand new. And that's just one example of the detail that has gone into this place. What is it as you look across the store here that if you could pick one thing that you're most proud of that you worked on?
That I'm most proud of? I'm really happy with how Arkham turned out so far.
Oh yeah, the checkout here.
But honestly, I mean, things are just getting started here.
Phase
And-
1. We're only in phase 1.
Yeah, we say that a lot, but it's true. Right now, I'm still kind of at the point where I look around the room and I still see so much that needs
So
to
much
be.
you
That,
wanna
yeah,
do,
so
yeah.
much that I want to do and so much that needs to be done.
Right.
I'm just wandering around in circles, like making notes.
Yeah.
You
Well, I've
know.
seen you do things and then go and change that and improve those things. One of the examples is the Captain America shield, which at one point was just up nicely on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Now it
fine.
appears to be inside the wall with Thor's hammer. So you've made changes on top of your changes. So
We
I
got
guess-
some Ghostbusters walking around here.
I guess for you, it's just going to be, you'll always be making changes.
Oh yeah, just keep adapting things, keep pushing. We're looking at adding some animatronics and digital elements to some of the features that are already in here. We plan on animating the Arkham cell doors, so you'll actually be able to see inside and see the inmates within the cells.
I was talking about that with Mouse. That will be fun to work on that. If you want to
yeah.
do that, that'll be great.
We're hoping to get it so Croc rattles his cage.
Right.
I mean, we're just in an area where we're in the middle of the theme parks. We're on iDrive, and it's sink or swim out here, and you see it happen all the time. The Scenic saves things. I mean, how many little tourist trap places do you see out here? They sell like knockoff T-shirts and cell phone cases,
Right.
but they've got a giant fiberglass wizard outside.
Right.
So so they're constantly pulling people in.
And the name of the store is just T-shirts. You know,
Yeah.
it's just there's no creativity at all there.
No. But they know how to draw people in.
Yeah.
You know.
You've certainly done that today. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
I
It's
know.
not
I
bad.
know. At one point, the invite on the Facebook page got up to 2,200, maybe more.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard to count those numbers being open for an entire 12 hours today. But I mean, we're seeing at least a couple of hundred right now at this minute.
Oh yeah. It's actually gotten more crowded since we opened the doors.
Now, was the expectancy number was what, like 20? It went up to like 22,500,
Did
right?
it really? I haven't
Did
checked
it
in a
max
while.
out at 25?
Well, last night
invite.
Mal said it was up to 22.
Right, I
was
saw
fine.
that. Yeah. Oh.
That's fantastic.
Now, in just a little bit of what is a bit about you know your background? You're an artist, you're a scenic designer, you're a painter, you're a craftsman, you're everything, right?
Well, a little bit of everything. I mean, I started out in art school, and like it was kind of a lot of self-direction.
Sure.
And you just kind of have to like learn new processes. You kind of have to teach yourself to work on the fly, and you learn a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I worked with Universal Studios for about 2 years prior to this in what they colloquially call the skin shop, where they produce a whole range of things from costumes to animatronic skins.
So you already have professional theme park experience coming into this.
Yeah.
An extensive resume for
Yeah.
sure,
Well,
which you've just updated today.
Oh yes.
So now how did Todd and Anna kind of approach you about this?
Well, they knew how I felt about where I was at, and they kind of say, I would come into Acme a lot after work because it was just, the only thing I was looking forward to sometimes
Right.
was going and seeing Todd and seeing Anna, and
A place to hang out.
yeah, they kind of saw the shape I was in when I got off work.
Right.
And I think once they had an idea of the scope of what they wanted to produce, they came to me, and I told them like the kind of circumstances I was in, but like what my situation was too, coming out of college. I decided to go for the full package, so I'm basically a student loan slave like so many
very
other
good.
people.
Very good.
And I'd love to work on something like this, but I can't quit my job to come build you a shop and then just ride off into the sunset.
Right.
They said, come and stay and never stop working on the shop. Never stop building. Keep pushing it.
I guess this place will always be changing, won't it?
Oh yeah. The things we have planned for phase 2, man. You wouldn't believe. Like, I know that sounds like kind of silly or like self-promotional, but I mean,
what you're saying is, if you like this, you're gonna love what's coming.
oh yeah. I mean, the things I wanted in here day one that that we didn't get to do, and now I'm crazy about getting done.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then again, but it's like for like when someone says, "Oh, I'm going to open up a store and all this," and they say what they're going to kind of do. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
good. And then you come to this and you're like, oh okay.
Okay.
Oh, there's a lot of there's been a lot of running jokes surrounding that sort of thing here. Like, we're in here and we're like sculpting polystyrene to look like corroded copper, for our comic shop.
Right.
Right. Or we're building like gigantic medieval castle keeps for our comic shop. We're I'm trying to tweak the lighting on a zombie containment chamber for our comic shop.
Right.
And so on and so forth,
It sounds like something you describe when you're working on a movie.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't sound. I mean, we had a lot of hurdles and a lot of challenges, but
Oh boy, yeah.
you expect we're trying to create food service. We're trying to create a toy store, comic shop, gaming center.
Right.
And essentially a small scale, themed attraction.
Yeah.
And the trials and tribulations of just
Yeah.
starting a business.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
How long did you wait for electricity?
oh good lord.
Yeah.
That was first hurdle. We need power.
We had to wait, I think, 4 months.
Yeah.
For them to turn our power on.
There was a time when we were running extension cords with some of my lights up to the back corner so they could just start peeling stuff off the walls because there was just no electricity. I don't even know where that electricity came
Yeah,
from.
we're crawling around on our hands and knees in the dark, trying to pick at the trim, trying to
Right.
get anything started in here.
Pulling the carpet off the floors.
Oh,
and,
man.
Yeah, but it's amazing to think of in my head what it looked like back then and to see what
I
it
know.
is
All
now.
these bare walls, and Todd's like, it's gonna be like this, it's gonna be like that, and you're like, and the thing is, you believe him, but it's so amazing to see it. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's one thing to hear about it or a
Oh,
picture
yeah,
of it versus coming in and then
That was the other joke. We'd come in during the day, and I'd be like, okay, so we're gonna carve a bunch of foam bricks. You're gonna out of polystyrene. We're gonna fix them to the wall. We're gonna, we gotta coat them in this hydro seal. We only have 13 hours, and then we gotta flip it. So and it's super easy to say it.
Right.
It's like, it's very easy to say. We'll just get all that done. 72 hours
and
later.
let's do this all in the dark.
Yeah. Oh.
Let's
man.
turn the lights off and make it intimate when we got to mix stuff.
Well, you describe what it's like to be on a movie set, I suppose, except on movie sets they build those things and then they tear them down almost right away, whereas you built something that could be here
Right.
for a very, very long time.
Oh yeah, we worked on the Harry Potter expansion, and my department was very fortunate in that we were one of the first people that got to walk through it when it was fully functional. Fallon had come through with his show, so point of sales had to be open, people had to be in costume, all the features, everything had to be working.
Right.
I mean, if Fallon decided he wanted to buy an ice cream cone and a T-shirt, it had to be ready to go.
Right.
But we're scenic people, and we're trained to come through and sort of not in any negative way, but kind of cast a critical eye on what we're doing.
Right.
And and we're walking through the train station, and we just stick our arms out like that. And every time my hand hit a handle on a suitcase, we're like, that's gonna break. That's gonna break.
Yeah,
That's gonna
that's
break. Every
good.
time we could reach a light fixture, that's gonna break. That's gonna break. The wand shop, the tassels, and because that's what it's like. You go into the park and you'll watch somebody, and they'll walk up to a fiberglass statue of Marmaduke, and they'll see a hairline crack in his ear, and they'll just worry that ear
Right.
for 20 minutes until it snaps off in their hand, and then they're holding it, and they're just kind of looking at it, and then they just kind of drop it on the ground
Right.
and walk away. They just wanted to see if they could break
Right.
it.
Right.
So that's where I came from when I approached this store here. It's the traffic's a little lighter, the mindset's a little different. People don't go into J.C. Penney's and just try to field goal kick the features.
Right.
But
You're right.
some do.
Maybe
Just
the
start
maybe
rolling
the
the room.
mannequins.
Oh, yeah. It's easy to carve the stuff out of polystyrene, but then how do you make it so you don't have to recarve it every 2 weeks?
Right.
Are you seeing something, Greg?
I'm seeing something ridiculous. They have a balloon artist here, balloon clown. This kid is Godzilla. It's amazing. He's incredible.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's
Oh my
Godzilla.
God. He's got the teeth and everything.
I mean, it's moving. It's his arms are his arms, and they move with the
Fantastic.
arms, and he's got a big tail and a big mouth. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Where-
that's one of the booth vendors here in the mall at Artagon here.
I was gonna ask, where can we find that?
There's actually a fella here who runs a magic show who I think is in cahoots with the balloon sculptor.
That's usually the kind of circles they run in.
Oh yeah, and it's funny because I've been doing like 14 hours a day, 7 days a week for about 5 months now.
Right.
To get this shop in order, and it'll be like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, and a guy goes by on like a Segway unicycle, and it's the Magic guy, and they're doing whatever. They're just killing time at their booths,
okay.
having fun, hanging out. But it's just like a strange crowd in here all hours of the night. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting place. If you're local and you know the history of this mall, it's a pretty crazy place to be right now while they're trying to rehab it, and trying to revitalize this area.
Well, I mean, by having Gods and Monsters here, I mean, this is a real shot in the arm for them. It's a good kickstart to kind of get it going.
Yeah, hopefully it's a more comprehensive draw, and a lot of these booth vendors, they're artists and artisans and craftsmen,
right?
And hopefully this will bring in the kind of crowd that's interested in that sort of thing.
Right.
When you guys finally got power and your neighbors started to kind of peek their heads in here.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure you had a lot of, hi, I'm your neighbor type situations.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all very warm and receptive. They definitely wanted you guys here.
A lot of them came in and lent a hand too.
That's
with the bill.
very nice.
Right. Yeah. I got a business card handed to me for the balloon creators. It's Yes, Your Entertainment Spot. YES. You can find them on Facebook.com/yes.entertain.
And I think I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they actually have regular magic shows here in the mall. So if you have any, if your kids are into that sort of thing, if you're into that sort of thing, like they do I believe they do a couple of shows a day.
That's a fantastic idea. Considering the Artigan's idea of trying to do something different and interesting here, that's a perfect example of what they should be doing. That's great.
I got to tell you, people who are listening out there right now, there are some phenomenal vendors out here. There are some phenomenal artists.
You want to give us an example of a vendor you met out here that you were surprised to see was a vendor out here?
Oh my God.
I mean, you've got an artist right across the street here who seems to do their own artwork.
Oh, Genki Goth Studios.
Yeah.
They've been fantastic. And they're one of the late night crowd too.
Yes.
They're in here and they're always having a great time. You can hear her, Miriam, one of the artists there, just laughing and laughing like from all the way in here, man.
I mean, that's actually what's kind of cool is that you guys, you try and have a community going.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, I mean, your neighbors to someone, they're all creative and, it's just that kind of thing. You want to pool it all together.
I mean, there is everything here. There's a fellow down the street who's selling vinyls. I absolutely love his store. A lot of vintage movies and things like that. I mean, there's all sorts of different artists. There's stencil artists across the way here, Eric's Art. There's soap makers. And they are all terrific. And I know it's iDrive, and I know it's Festival Bay, and it's a little ways out here, but man, you got to come out and see something.
And there was a time when Todd and Anna were looking over at the Oviedo Mall, and I kind of thought how cool that would be because it's closer to me. But when I see what a perfect fit you guys are here, I mean, I think it's going to flourish. Absolutely.
And like I said, hopefully we can all help each other out a lot. I almost ended up with one of these booths myself before Todd and Anna asked me on, and I was very concerned. I'm like, I know this mall pulls big numbers at Bass Pro.
Right.
My sisters, they'll drive, they'll drive 6 hours to go to Bass Pro or Shepler's to, but then, then they turn around and they go home.
Yes. Oh, thank you. My computer is restarting.
Yeah, because I was going to say one thing that's very interesting too is that speaking of artists, last week they had one of the animator guys who worked on the Beatles' Yellow Submarine.
Oh, I saw him on television on Fox 35.
Yeah. He was in here.
Yeah, and he was selling his artwork.
Oh, he was here? I only saw him on TV. I didn't realize he was here.
He had a setup with the record guy.
He stopped by the shop while he was here, like right before he had his show.
And happy little accidents are going to happen like that more and more here now that you guys are open, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Just the Facebook page the last week or two, in the section of people like, hey, I'm a cosplayer, hey, I do this, I do that. Everybody wants to get involved. They really do.
Well, that was one thing I pointed out to Todd and Anna, especially when it came to locations like the back room, the back gaming areas in Arkham. There's not a cosplayer alive who wouldn't want to shoot here.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we have Arkham Insane Asylum in the back.
Right.
I'm a photographer. I want to shoot here. I want to shoot
right.
here.
I take pictures too. So
and we're going to work hard to accommodate it. One of the things I'd like to set up in here eventually is a in-house cosplay lab. where you can get your custom outfits actually designed, fabricated, or even older pre-existing outfits rehabbed, or even just get advice or consultations on the stuff. I do a lot of freelance work, and a lot of people come to me. And one of the biggest, cosplay is a huge thing. People love to do it, even if you're not handy capable, or whatever. You're not highly skilled at that sort of thing. You order these things online, and a lot of these retailers that are online, a lot of these shops, they push real hard, but it's hard to get your measurements exact.
Sure.
Across the country, especially spandex.
Yes.
It's hard to tell what kind of quality you're going to get. It's hard to tell what kind of level of professionalism are you going to get it in time for your convention. All that could be solved by coming to a brick and mortar, getting your measurements done here, speaking to the person face to face. You can come in, you can check on it, you can get fitted, you can make adjustments. If something's wrong, if something breaks, you can bring it back.
Right.
And I think it'd be a really cool service to provide. I'm working on getting starting it off by producing some exclusive in-house cosplay items, additioning some accessories or helmets or something like that, and seeing if there's any interest in that sort of thing.
That's good, because those people, sometimes they need help with their ideas, and most of them kind of work on their own. They do their own thing, and they can use a little help sometimes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not. I have a lot of gaps in my skill set, and there's some things I can do, but I know that but I'm not an expert at it, and I've been really fortunate that I have a great network of people here, a great network of artists. Von Bellick, Defense Mechanism, came in and actually stepped away from doing performance art and fabricated most of the fantasy section for us, the gaming booths in there. Bruce Ruiz, who's a vinyl decal artist and a lighting technician, came in and lit all the features in here. Just this tremendous network of people, and just to come in and fill in the gaps and to lend a hand and to kind of spread things out,
Well, this was definitely a place for you to kind of come to Todd and Anna with your ideas. When they first came to you and said, hey, we're going to get this comic book store, did you start to present them with some of your ideas?
Well, they had a lot. Well, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is I've got these ideas. Todd and Anna have these ideas, and all these cosplayers have ideas, and you never feel ashamed to reach out to people and to make your ideas come through.
That's exactly what I did. This is the perfect example of that. I came to Todd and I said, hey, I know you've worked with Rodney before at the other place. I want to have a permanent podcast location here. So I came to him with an idea, and he was all for it. This is the place for your ideas.
They showed me a little bit of concept art that a fella had done for them, and we kind of used that as a jumping off point for where we wanted to go with things. Everything ended up adapting a lot on the fly in the meantime. But it's good to start with a rough idea, and some stuff you stick to your guns on, and some stuff you want to be adaptable about.
Right.
I know that the circuitry column for sci-fi that just came out of nowhere. We just ended up with a surplus of material, and really
I thought that was really
there.
cool. It's like old motherboards.
That was one of the first things that kind of went up where you were like,
Yeah.
oh, something different's happening here.
Right, and that's much different from the original design there. The Blade Runner bar, the White Dragon Noodle bar, that's we're gonna be working on that pretty heavily in the next year to try to bring it more into the cyberpunk theming.
Right.
But it started out one way. It started out as an idea where we wanted to replicate something. We realized, it's possible. Anything's possible. We can build anything in here. But hunting down, the concept art, the control art, figuring out what all the pieces are,
I know Todd had mentioned at one point he'd love to have an actual blimp up there
Yes,
at the
yeah.
Off-World
Well,
Lounge.
that's one of the things I want to do in here, and I'm hoping to surprise them with how surprisingly feasible something like that is going to end up being for us.
You got the space for it. You got a lot of real estate up in the air here that
Oh,
you can
yeah.
play
Yeah.
with.
Oh yeah.
Well, tell us if people want to find you on Facebook to see some of the work that you've done, where can they find you?
My Facebook name is Tommy Spider.
Tommy Spider.
Yeah, it's because Facebook has weird naming conventions and strict guidelines that don't make any sense.
Sure.
But mostly,
And that is your legal name, Tommy Spider.
Tommy Spider.
Mostly what I do at home is I do a lot of leather work and I do a lot of mask making,
Sure.
and I try not to fall under too conventional styles. So I try to go as crazy as I can with it. You can check out a lot of that on my Facebook.
On your Facebook page. Well, this is definitely your day to enjoy. So give
Yeah.
yourself 5 minutes.
And
to
relish
just
in the work. And
just
I mean,
sit
again,
down.
it looks amazing.
sit for 5 minutes and just look around at what you've done.
I know.
because it'll be over before you know it.
I just see a million things left to do.
Wow. Hey, well, that's typically an artist. You'll see it, and we're like, great.
Right.
You're like, but
Just
Oh yeah, I get pleased by the weirdest things. You know,
Right.
like little details that I get to put in. That'll make my day.
Right.
put your clipboard down for one day and just enjoy what
Yeah,
you've done.
exactly, right.
Well, thank you for joining us on the
Yeah.
live
No
problem,
podcast.
guys. Yeah, take it easy.
Thank you.
That was Spider, everybody.
Spider, who's been here hour upon week
for
upon
5
month.
months, 7 months.
I know.
Power, no power, Spider.
What do you see?
I'd like to actually butt in here with a little bit of an update.
Make sure you sit. 'cause
On?
You're off camera.
I know I am. On the actual live podcast on YouTube,
Yes.
we have
Millions of hits.
11 watchers.
11
Hey!
watchers.
So here's what's more important though is that people are actually watching. So
Yes.
Right.
the number doesn't matter. Now obviously you're watching, so that's one. I'm watching over here.
I want to thank my mom and
that's
my
two.
dad and my two sisters.
Actually, the 11 people was me trying to get the stream to work.
Literally it's
11
9.
times.
But the point is that it's working,
there it is.
and people really are watching. So that's pretty cool.
That's good.
And make a
Thank-
comment, say hello. We love to
Not
hear it.
everyone could be here for the live performance, for the ribbon cutting. So that's kind of why we made this up. And this was also our way to launch the idea of that we're going to do a podcast here as much as we can. We're going to have, famous people here, hopefully one day. And we're going to sit down and interview them and kind of turn this. And we don't want to say it right now, but there is something in the works of having a permanent podcast set scenario over in the other corner. But that's all, I guess we could say, phase 2, like everything else.
Right.
Phase 2.
Not at the moment.
Right. You two guys talk for a second. I'm actually going to stand up because it's been almost 3 hours.
Oh, very good.
Oh yeah,
Give us your impressions of
I don't do
the
impressions.
costumes that you've seen here.
We gotta tell you. I'll tell you what. I saw the Ghostbusters are here.
Yeah.
I did see the Ghostbusters.
Right. Well, you never know what kind of spirits are lingering around.
And I just threw it up on my personal Facebook that this is the coolest con that is not a con that you'll ever go to. I mean, it's really kind of
It's like the uncon of but cons.
it's really cool.
You've been conned into a con.
It's a party atmosphere, and I'm not really a comic book guy. I'm not like into the scene so much. I've shot some cosplay and such, and I always thought it was sort of silly, but I kind of get it now. I kind of understand it. This is not just a comic book store. When Art was making all those little promos and such, I was like, what the heck are you doing? I was
Yeah,
like,
I know.
You're making this like giant big deal about something, because I thought it was like, oh, it's a comic book store.
Well, what kind of sort of really what the real kind of impetus of this thing is a couple of years ago, we were over at the Acme store. I was the one that did the commercial that was showing off the store, and the feel of the place was all Todd Fisher. I mean, he was generally the real spirit of he was an employee, but he always had these great ideas of just like how to display toys and used toys, and he would make action scenes and all kinds of fun stuff like that. And
He was basically a big kid, just
absolutely.
doing what he wanted. That's cool.
So, instead of doing the typical thing of a store where it's like, over here we have our comic books and over there, I was like, well, let's have your customers talk about it. So Todd hosted it, and we kind of made this kind of fun, upbeat kind of thing. And then I, was looking at the place at the time, and I'm like going, wow, this would be a great place for a podcast where you have they have a bar there, and you'd have, the store's the background, and do some kind of lighting and give it a mood and things like that. And so when I was telling that to Art, at work, he's like, so he's like, oh, what about that podcast thing? What about that podcast thing? So then Art just, he was so excited to jump in, and he really just jumped in. So. And then we all kind of pull our ways in to make it happen, and we make it happen.
I'll tell you what, I like doing stuff like this. This is fun for me, set it all up, and then to actually speak about something for a couple of hours, and the urgency of having to fill that time. You can't just sit here and take it in. You have to continue speaking.
Right.
I like that. I like that because I don't know what I'm going to say next. My brain doesn't work that fast. So
well,
you
kind of honestly you observe what's around you, what's going on. But,
and that's exactly what it is.
But luckily around us, things keep kind of changing. I mean. And people keep showing up. That's the other thing too. And there's Kristen Miles.
Hey, Kristen Miles, how are you?
So that's the thing is people keep strolling in. So It's not just like they all showed up and then they were done.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was afraid of. I thought I saw a little bit of a line right before it opened, and then everybody poured in.
Right.
And what I thought what might happen was after an hour or so, it would really thin out. They would see everything that there is to see here, and then just go on. But there's so much to do here. They've really made sure that there's plenty of things for people to do, and I'm very excited for Phase 2 for this place when that bar area opens, when the back area opens for people to hang out and play their card games and their board games and stuff.
And also, another group that's actually helping out today is a company called Free Play. So they're stand-up video games.
With the video games, yeah.
Classic video games that are free.
And there's some pinball games too.
Yeah.
Pinball's always been my favorite.
Like there's a Pac-Man game, which I remember I spent about $5 back in the 80s dropping quarters.
It almost looks like
free.
a special one. It looks like it's got some signatures on it. So somebody's personal Pac-Man game, I think, is
unless they must have had a tournament on it. They might have had a tournament.
Maybe a tournament version of Pac-Man. I don't know.
But there's
Oh, I grew up in arcades. This is a little bit of Shangri-La for me.
What is the Gauntlet?
Gauntlet, the 4-player warrior needs food badly.
Valkyrie's about to die.
I love that game. Yeah,
that's actually here too.
I was terrible at that game. I never played that one.
I
didn't have 3 friends. The video games were my friends. I played Zaxxon and Robotron and all those Defender. I stuck to Defender though. Defender had too many buttons.
But you know what? Going back to you were mentioning like how you've never seen this stuff. Now meaning culture-wise. You and I are roughly the same age, and the thing is, when I was younger, this stuff was like. Well, I mean, I read Marvel comics. I mean, I loved Spider-Man, the Hulk, and that's what I kind of got into around 10, and then I was started buying like back issues and reprints, just really enjoying it. And of course, you always get totally just. Berated, like, why are you reading that stuff? And oh my God, people just roll their eyes. But they didn't realize, because they never took the moment to try it or anything like that the material was not written for children. It was written for teenagers and adults. So it's a lot of adult kind of, storyline themed kind of things. And so just over time, just honestly, ever since the explosion of the movies, people now start to see what it is. And so now these conventions come up. And now, you go to a comic store, and it's okay to go to a comic store. I can wear a Hulk T-shirt. And people are like, oh, he's wearing a Hulk T-shirt.
So somebody who's been a reader for a long time, have comic books changed over the last, let's say, 30 years? Because with the introduction of the movies, with the introduction of or the reintroduction of a lot of characters.
Well, there's always has been. I mean, in the sense that there's always a general evolution of stuff in the books anyway. I mean. Obviously when you look at the stuff from the 40s, I have a hard time reading it because it's like, Superman showing up to knock out a guy who just robbed a bank with a bag of cash in his hand. I mean,
it's a dollar sign on
the
bag.
Right, exactly. It's kind of like, wow. He's like, well, I'll take care of that guy.
Did Marvel and comic books ever get real political? Did they ever get propagandist?
No, Marvel actually, Marvel. I would say this: political, as in they would have Nixon. They'd have Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton.
Is that being topical or is that being political?
Topical.
Okay.
There was never preachiness.
So they sort of existed in the same world as we existed.
Right.
So they didn't invent their own universe.
Because the deal was that, DC, when they came out, they probably were thinking like, well, okay, these are made-up characters, these crazy superpowers. There's no way they would live in our world. They have to live in a special world, which is, they're the Star City, Metropolis.
It wasn't New York City. It was
New
Metropolis.
York. And so Stan Lee was actually, he was
whom I've met, and I'll tell you about that in a little bit.
I met him too.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you had a real interaction with him,
did, yeah.
Okay, then that's one thing. I've did meet him at the conventions and stuff. But he was a frustrated writer. So I mean, he started writing comics at age 17. And he'd be at cocktail parties in New York, and they'd be like, "So, what do you do for a living?" He's like, I write comic books." And he said they would walk away on it. So he honestly was hiding his career for a long time, and he was about ready to quit. And his wife said to him, well, before you quit, why don't you do something you want to do? And he's like, okay, well, I'll come with my own thing. And so he created then, at that moment, the Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first one. And that was a hit. And so they came back to him. They're like, well, what about, do you got anything else, Dan? He's like, well, I got maybe a Spider-Man, I guess. So then he did Spider-Man and the Hulk.
Because if I understand it right, he wasn't creating books at that time. He was just coloring or inking them.
No. He was
writing them.
He was
but not
writing in the editor.
just different
Right,
stories.
and basically how the kind of worked like this is that the Marvel method was this, is that Stan would basically come up with the plots. It's like, all right, Spider-Man is in New York, because and he wanted him in real world places because since
Yes.
he worked in New York, he wanted to go. It'd be kind of cool if he went and got coffee at our favorite whatever coffee shop. And he's like, all right, Spidey's in New York and he's doing his thing, and he could barely pay the rent. And then Dr. Octopus is, he's robbing a bank because he needs money to get technology for a new machine, whatever it is. And that's all he would send to the artist. And then the artist would kind of take, a fleshed out outline plot. They would just run with it. And then he'd go back and he would then, at that point, add in the dialogue.
No kidding. So the panels would be drawn before the dialogue was put in?
Right. And so that became that kind of Marvel method because he was just trying to buy himself time because he had so many books. And then also, there's also, you see like a penciler and an inker and a colorist. This is all about expediency of getting the product out. I mean, it was like, okay, I drew as quick as I could, give it to a guy or a girl who's going to add pen and ink to do as fast as they could, to hand it off to the colorist who's going to color it as fast as they could, so on and so forth, to create this assembly line, for these books to come out.
Yeah, now that you say Marvel method, that rings a bell.
Yeah.
Last year, I was out in L.A. I was hired to set up the audio and video to do Stan Lee interview.
Get ready for the name drop here. Here comes the name drop.
It's not a name drop. It's just I was hired to
he's
go
amazing to
and
be
do it.
around. The guy's
he's
in his
sharp as a tack.
I know,
mean,
he
he hasn't missed a step.
He's
He
like
was,
93.
God love him for getting to enjoy later years in life. He's having this great fourth quarter of his life.
He was absolutely.
I think he's going to get a fifth.
He's
the way he's going.
flirting with the interviewee or interviewer, and they happen to be friends. She's interviewed him several times, but just extremely sharp, smart.
You got a photo with him?
I did. He had to do like a little commercial or something like that, and basically his agent told him what he was supposed to say one time.
Wow.
And he nailed it. And he nailed it in that Stan Lee.
Right. My friends.
Oh my gosh, he was amazing.
It's going to be great.
Absolutely amazing.
All enthusiasm he has.
Was he on the list of people who there was a time in the 80s and 90s he wasn't getting his due financially?
Oh yeah, he finally got the back pay he deserved.
Yeah. And speaking of somebody else who's had a big fourth quarter of their life, I had mentioned earlier we were going to kind of talk about Christopher Lee, who just passed away the other day at the age of 93. Talk about somebody who had a great fourth quarter of his life. Star Wars, Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
And for us as a kid in the 70s, he was Dracula.
Right. And also the man with the golden gun.
Yes, the man with the golden gun. He just...
Wasn't it like a third nipple he had or some bizarre thing?
What?
In
what
that movie?
What was that thing?
I think you're confusing it with a South Park episode or something.
Something like that. He had like some oddball.
Christopher Lee, best known for his third nipple.
Third nipple.
I saw that on his tombstone. But
definitely in the obituary.
He was,
Third nip Chris.
For every great hero, there's a great villain, and boy, he was one of them in many films. And he had the voice. He had the deep voice.
Oh
too.
yeah.
He could have done some great animation work.
I actually think that one of the best things about the Star Wars prequels, and when it comes to moments, sadly with the prequels,
there was one.
There was one, and but it's Christopher Lee, and he's
good
like
British actor. Give me a good old British actor.
But just the way he says to Yoda, we'll settle this without lightsabers. It's like, okay.
You mean like in debate? Oh, with lightsabers.
Right, with.
I thought you said without. I'm like,
no,
how
with
debate?
Yeah, we're gonna debate with lightsabers.
Math questions, Q&A. We're gonna settle this.
That's when Yoda turned into a Pokemon.
Right.
That was that battle.
Crazy. Well, earlier I got pulled away because there's a gentleman out here who wants to sit down on our podcast to tell us about extra-life.org. He's going to talk about an organization that gets people to play video games and raise money and awareness for the Children's Miracle Network. So he's going to come over at 12:30 and talk to us. Everybody wants to talk to us now. We are famous. We got 11 people watching us.
Play video games for charity?
Yeah.
I could do that.
He's going to come in and give us a little bit more of a description, but not until 12:30.
All right.
I'd really like for Todd or Anna to come and sit with us, but
yeah,
they are hard to come by right now.
I think in some ways they might be just kind of, they got this up and running. I think they're kind of resting.
Yeah, I would just kind of drift off into the corner and just kind of enjoy it.
I mean, they've
if
only
you
been
could.
working straight, like 14-hour days for a year.
Yeah.
For a year.
I'd mentioned to Mark, our first interviewer, one of the things I remember as a kid was going to like a Walden bookstore and spending hours there. Did you guys ever have a store in the mall where you could actually sit and enjoy yourself for a couple hours?
You know what? I wanted to come back to this because I wanted to say when I was 9, 10, 11 years old, I knew kids who were all into comics.
Right. I wasn't one of them.
I wasn't
into
one
comics.
of them either. And I knew kids who were into
you
the
turned out
baseball
fine.
card collecting.
Right.
And I was never into any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I never really was exposed to the universes of DC or Marvel. And now something like Watchmen, I want to pick up that graphic novel because that's fantastic. I mean, just the writing, the depth of the writing in that is something I didn't really understand. That's what comics could be.
Now that one is political.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
That's a political.
Nixon's
stuff.
third term. And,
Right.
yeah.
Now, did you ever pick up The Dark Knight Returns?
The movie? Yeah. No.
That's The Rises.
I picked it up at
that's it.
Blockbuster.
Right. For $14.95.
No, I haven't. I've never really been a big reader, but the graphic novels are interesting to me because they're more than just words on a page.
Right.
Well, what's
They're
interesting,
helping you build that story, that vision in your mind.
what's actually kind of now what's been happening in sort of the graphic novel market. Usually, a lot of books come out individually, the trade paperback is the collection of the 5-6 issues, and now what's kind of cool is that they're kind of looking at them almost like a DVD release, where it'll be like an interview with the writer, interview with the penciler or the artist.
I think that's important. I think
Extra
that's
pages,
what people need
unpublished,
these days.
unpublished stuff, rough work, things like that, where you're like, oh, okay, very cool. I get to see this. But for example, being a Marvel kid, like I said, I was very, very into Marvel. I read. My initial stuff was the reprints of the 60s. So that was some of the stuff, I was reading like John Buscema and stuff, like the Avengers. We're
I've heard of that movie. That's a good movie. I heard.
It's actually not a bad movie. and the second one's pretty good too.
Is it? I haven't seen the second.
But but the thing is with like the Avengers, for example, I read the introduction with Ultron and Vision, and also you'll see now in the upcoming Ant-Man movie, Yellow Jacket.
They're saying that Ant-Man's going to be really good.
I have a feeling it is. I think it's going to be out of the blue. People are going to like it a lot.
It's going to be a sleeper. It's a character I never knew about, so it couldn't be too mainstream. I knew who Captain America was. I know who Thor is, but Ant-Man never heard of Ant-Man.
Well, that's the thing is that, and the thing is that's in some ways a bit of the good and the bad with the movies, and I don't mean this.
How popular was Iron Man before the movie
exactly
came out?
That's exactly true. I didn't even know what an Iron Man was until the movie.
And boy, that exploded.
Oh, when the thing is like when I saw that movie, you could tell my reaction. You're trying to. Oh my god! I mean, yeah.
GoPro just ended. Excuse me.
Goodbye, GoPro. But the thing is that for example, the question that's always begged of yourself as the reader, watching the movies, did they get it right? And I don't mean it like, oh, that's the scene from issue so and so. I don't care about that. I care about the tone, the personality, because the Marvel Cinematic Universe is completely different from the regular Marvel universe, and that's okay. But the point is that.
Well, I think it has to be.
Well, yeah.
If they made a movie that was basically a motion comic of the
it's
books,
it's too
it
inside
would be
baseball.
silly.
Well, it's too inside baseball. You know what I mean? It's that kind of thing where like a real small minority would get it, and the rest would be like, well, that's kind of okay. So they have to make it broad and create a new universe on its own. Like even when Spider-Man, the movie, Sam Raimi, that one.
Yeah.
When I went to the sneak preview of it over at Universal Studios. I had some giveaway tickets, and so I'm like, okay, we'll see how this goes. The X-Men movie, they did pretty good kind of translating that. I was surprised, kind of like that. So Spider-Man comes up, and the thing that sold me was when you hear the voiceover, Tobey Maguire kind of talking about like, this is a story about a girl and a guy. and whatever it is. And he's like, and he goes, and that's me. And it's him running after the bus, showing, him in the glasses and the very, he looks just like a Steve Ditko drawing. But it's just when I'm watching it, I'm like, wow, they totally got this.
That's a direct line from Stan Lee, that Spider-Man is about a girl.
Yeah.
It's not about villains. It's not about superpowers. It's about trying to get that girl.
Right.
And I believe it was Mary Jane who he fashioned after his wife. I mean, he adores his wife.
Oh, I know.
He's quite an amazing man.
Did you ever hear the story about Stan Lee and about his wife?
He told me briefly, and I read a little bit about it on.
One of the things that he said in an interview that I believe he said on television, or I read it, but he used to. This is the most interesting thing about Stan Lee that I love about him and his wife. He used to draw a girl. I mean, Stan Lee can draw, but he's not like he's not like a comic artist where he's knocking out pages per day. But he can doodle, and he used to draw this girl all the time when he was like a teen, like 12, 13, high school.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened was when he met his wife, she looked exactly like that drawing. and he first time he saw her, he goes, "Oh my God, I love you. I want to marry you." And he said it to her like right away. He proposed to her like right away.
I do remember reading that he had to chase her for a while.
Yeah, because she was engaged. But then again, look at what that love did for him. He was going to quit his career, and she said, "No, go for it one more time," and gave. This is a direct.
This wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
None of this would be here without Stan Lee.
So I have somebody coming in at 12:30 who's going to be.
Oh, we got some business happening right here.
Wants to talk to us. But do you want to come in at like 1 o'clock? Sure. Okay, just come on back at 1 o'clock. Just walk right up to the
Todd,
chair. Okay, cool.
Do you want to jump in?
Just for a moment. I can.
Yeah.
Just for a moment.
Let me slide down.
I'll move.
We're gonna do the Tonight Show slide.
As the music swells and winter is coming.
Take a seat.
What am I doing?
Come right back. I want to just come and have a seat.
We're live on YouTube. And
Winter is coming as the music plays, and so is Todd. How are you today?
Oh, man.
Well, you know what? Man, what a day. 50 years ago, Walt Disney sat down at a table just like this, almost 50 years ago in a couple of months, and said, "We are coming to this town and we're going to build something here fantastic." And here we are 50 years later, and the next great thing has just been built.
Oh, man. Big shoes.
You're probably a little overwhelmed with everything that's going on today. Have you given yourself 5 minutes to just look around and appreciate it?
I have not. This will probably be that 5 minutes.
Let's look.
Let me see here. There's a lot of people here, man.
You know what I'm seeing that
What?
really surprises me the most? A lot of kids in costumes. I love it.
I love it.
Yeah,
I saw this. I saw a
absolutely.
little girl as Harley Quinn earlier with this gigantic, with a hammer that was like 3 times her size. It was pretty amazing. It was amazing. No, I love it. It's overwhelming and it's humbling and it's so cool to see these people, like, they come in, and I've been in this for a year now, so I can't really see it.
Right.
But I'm seeing it through everybody else. Everybody coming in with these glazed looks, like, oh wow, like the big eyes, and I'm like, man,
Right.
I guess we're doing something right.
You've been seeing it every day for weeks and months, so
Sure.
it's just like, I'm going to work today.
Well,
we're going to build.
it kind of, I don't know, loses its luster to me.
Sure.
But I mean, everybody else seems to really be enjoying themselves. So you mentioned the kids. That's really what it's about, man.
Right.
Bringing the families in and bringing this community together and trying to, I don't know, build something awesome for them.
I was just so happy to see how many kids that dressed up. Over your left shoulder is my daughter dressed up as Dipper.
Nice.
And a friend of hers came as Mabel.
Shout out to Gravity Falls.
Came out
if
as
you will.
Mabel, so they met today.
Oh my
they're
God,
They're standing in line. They just waved to us there.
Yes, there they are.
They're standing in
Oh
line,
my God.
as many people were doing today, standing in line. They had to put the barriers up because the lines at the registers were getting pretty long today, which is a good problem to have.
That's not a bad problem to have.
Well, let me ask you this. All right.
Yes.
Now-
Hey, everybody, it's Rodney.
Rodney
everybody.
Bailey's
Hi,
just-
Rodney.
Now, did you? I mean, like, okay, a good handful of people over the years.
I do.
Did you honestly think the opening day was going to be
Like this? Not even.
I'm actually, here's the thing. I'm just kind of, if I start to cry, I'll cry for him.
All right.
He doesn't cry.
He doesn't cry.
I shed the tear for him.
I cry for him.
right.
So I cry for him.
I cry for him.
I love that we're reading Subatai's line
he's
as
like-
as
I-
our.
as Arnold.
I know.
Conan, Sumerian. He will not cry. So I cry for him. Go on.
No, but I mean seriously. How many times we had sushi? Like 3 times at Bay Ridge Sushi, which is in Longwood, Florida. It was quite excellent.
Shout out to Bay Ridge. Good.
But I just had that moment where we work in basically a quiet dream business. Anyone works in the visual arts or arts, you're a dreamer to begin with. That's part of your life. And so a lot of times some dreams don't get fulfilled.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's always they sit on the couch forever. I got a great idea about a script. It has gods and ninjas. Oh no.
But enough about Rodney and his Superman script.
Right, exactly.
Why do I hurt?
The stabbing, the stab.
You brought up the Superman script.
Right,
man.
which was actually.
You know about that?
I do.
Right. Like every little thing I would come up with.
Yeah.
And
Todd, I thought about this.
and
He's
then-
like, good for you.
And then like 6 months
No,
later,
I like it.
they're making a new Superman movie.
Yeah, nice. We'll put it
So you were saying.
coming to Reddit. Here he
You
comes.
were saying.
But just saying that it's so awesome to actually, here it is.
It's a little weird, right?
It is weird
It's a
because
little weird.
It's not just an artist rendering anymore that we've been looking at
Right.
for a
Oh,
year.
for real.
But
Those same 3 awesome concept art.
But not only
concept
that,
figures.
I mean, talk about what a life change. I mean, you had a prior job. We'll keep that.
I did.
We'll keep that in the background of what
I
it
did.
was.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, okay then.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm going to make this happen, and I will. I can make this happen.
Well, I joke about it. I joke that it's weird because nothing's ever really panned out like this for me. I've tried similar projects like this 3 or 4 different times over the years, trying to get something started on obviously a much smaller scale, and I got close a lot, but every couple of weeks some new significant push forward for this project would happen. I'm like, man, this might actually work.
And then the power doesn't turn on for
And,
Right.
right, exactly. And then you get something like that, and I'm just like, oh, it's that again. Okay, I see. Okay, I get you, universe.
Right.
But this is totally our grand opening. This is a year in the making, a little bit over a year. It was a year almost to the week or so that I was let go. So I guess you leave me alone for a while, and I get anxious.
Well, you always have ideas, and that's the thing. It's that kind of thing where, this is, if you ever come in this place, this is absolutely totally you.
Thank you.
And that's the thing is that when when I sit there and I go to the old place,
I think somebody's playing us off.
Yep.
We're getting played off the stage.
right?
I haven't thanked my mom and my
I'd like to thank the
my
costumers
Right.
and my wife.
and
Let him finish. He
Right.
owns the place.
yeah, hang on, Ringo. I'm still
What is that? Oh my
out
goodness.
of here. Get out of here.
Oh my god. Copyright infringement.
What
Right.
is going on?
Copyright.
So if you two can't hear us, it's because of this background music that's being blocked.
YouTube
because
will
we don't
block
have the
us, yeah, if
right.
their music is
Oh
not
no.
copyrighted, yeah.
Help me.
They'll be
Gonna
like,
talk
forget
over
it.
it.
No, but it just again, it's like I don't know. I'm still in awe. But the thing is, we've seen the pieces come together from concept to pulling up carpet to unpainted walls, and then and you see all these folks. I mean, a good chunk of them are your friends, but do you see a lot of people you don't know?
Oh, tons. I see. Obviously, it's weird. I'm seeing people that I haven't seen in like 10 years. I saw a person here from my high school that I haven't seen in
that's the other
25 years. It's like,
But again, this is the other thing that maybe you may not know this, but or realize is that you have a natural knack of community building. You know the right kind of people. This guy who's a great painter. This girl's a great artist. Whatever.
yeah.
Let's put the band together and see what happens.
Well, it's cool too because I think Anna, the co-owner, actually shares a lot of those gifts, and she knew a lot of people that I didn't know.
Right.
And so it's about making those connections because you get artists together and crazy things. Well, look around you.
I know.
You get artists together and crazy things can happen.
Yeah.
So this is a little overwhelming, guys. Hey, look, there's a body painted naked girl over there.
Oh.
That's interesting.
If I had a nickel. Every time
Right.
I saw
I know.
something.
Every time.
I mean,
Well,
they're everywhere.
As the co-owner of this business, I feel very awkward right now when I have to tell you that our next guest is here, and I'm going to have to let you go.
Oh man,
We're
I
having
love
some
it.
visitors who are raising money for Children's Miracle Network.
Oh,
and
dude,
they're
of course.
going to be sitting down here.
I will gladly give
But
up my seat for this.
I just want to say congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
This is a wonderful day, and I hope you get a chance to appreciate just a
Right.
little of it because
I'm gonna try.
And then tomorrow, just sleep.
right.
Right. Maybe sleep.
Right.
We'll try to talk to you again soon. Thank you for visiting.
Just a quick update. We're up to 15 viewers.
Oh,
Hey,
we have 2
4
people
more.
that are going to come in and sit
All right.
with us now.
Come on in.
Come on in, have a seat. We were just visiting with the owner. That's Todd. Of course. The owner of the business here, the co-owner. So I just met with you a little while ago. You guys are raising money for the Children's Miracle Network in a very unique way.
Yeah.
You want to give us a little introduction on who you are and who you're raising money for? Sure.
My name is Joshua Easton. I'm the president of Extra Life Orlando, local here benefiting the Arnold Palmer Children's Miracle Network. My friend Matt over here.
Matt?
I'm Matthew DeVore. I'm the vice president of the Orlando Guild for Extra Life.
This is a fascinating idea. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Extra Life's a nationally recognized program. We've been around for about 6 years now, I want to say. We're recognized by Twitch, Rooster Teeth, Sony, Microsoft. They all support us. We're here in the local area in Orlando. Basically, we are the guild for Orlando. So if you think in gaming terms, you think a clan or a guild, that's what we're here to do. We're here to support all of the Extra Life players in Orlando that sign up for Arnold Palmer, and we keep the funds local. So all of those funds go straight to the hospital and help those kids. Nothing gets touched by anyone else. Children's Miracle Network, they run on fundraising, they run on donations. That's all they do.
So before we get too far into the interview, tell people how they can find you guys on the web.
Absolutely. It's extra-life.org is the global website. You just have to search for Team Orlando. That's where we're based.
And how long have you been working on this project specifically?
I've been with Extra Life for about 5 years.
Wow,
This is the first year that we've been a locally based organization. Normally it's national, but this year the Guild program rolled out, so now we have local offices everywhere.
Outstanding. So you chose a good location to come to today. What are your thoughts on what you've seen here today?
Gods and Monsters is fantastic, especially around this area, the International Drive area. We're going to get a lot of people in here that, they're looking for somewhere to go, that they can come in and tabletop and just talk to people of their own kind. So.
Spend a lot of time here. You don't have to rush off. It's not a store you walk in and out. You can spend a good quality amount of time
Exactly.
here.
And the owners are great. They're fantastic. They love helping out the community. When we emailed them right away, they were like, absolutely, come on down for a grand opening. So
That's a very good idea. So tell us what your relationship is with the Children's Miracle Network. I mean, I'm sure they're probably loving the concept of this.
Yeah, absolutely. So Extra Life in Orlando, we work directly with the Children's Miracle Network representatives right here in the area. As a national chain, they're actually a branch of the Children's Miracle Network.
Okay.
So we're not just a side organization that's benefiting, we're part of the network itself. We're also based in international programs as well. There's some Canadian hospitals and other areas that do benefit if those players choose to sign up. So it's great.
So if people want to get involved, tell them what they should do to get involved. Tell them what they will be doing when they're involved.
Absolutely. So Extra Life, you just sign up on the website at extra-life.org. You choose a team that you want to play for. We have one here in Orlando called Team Orlando, where you can play for any of the teams. You can even make your own. All you do is you sign up and you get a customizable fundraising page, similar to like a GoFundMe or like a Kickstarter.
Okay.
People donate online to that page, and all of that money goes straight to the hospital that you chose at sign up.
Excellent. And in Central Florida, I mean, you're getting good responses to the people here in Central Florida.
Yeah, absolutely. As of right now, we have 86 participants signed up here in Central Florida, and we've already raised almost $3,000 for the hospital.
What's the next big event that you'll be at that perhaps people could find you?
Our next big one is the Zelda concert.
Yeah, there's an orchestra concert for Legend of Zelda coming next month.
Really?
And we are going to be out there with a table set up recruiting more people.
And what's the location of that?
Our secretary actually knows that. I will have the information
You'll have that
posted on our
information
Facebook.
on your webpage.
Yes.
Very interesting. Zelda. I'm fascinated to know more about that.
Yeah, we have a local page on Facebook as well, Extra Life Orlando, and there's also just the regular Extra Life one.
So how did this get started? What's the genesis
That's
of this?
Matt's sore forte right there. He's got a good story for that.
It all started with a little girl named Victoria Edmond. She was suffering from cancer and was in and out of the hospitals.
How long ago was this?
6-7 years ago.
Okay.
The guy who founded Extra Life, his name is Jeremy Adams. He basically was very close with the family through radiothons for the network. And when she passed, he founded Extra Life in her honor.
Really? This
Yeah.
is Jeremy Adams, you
Yes.
said?
he basically got his friends from the podcasts he did and the radiothons he did to send video games in for her to play while she was stuck in the hospital
Great idea.
since she couldn't leave. They had
That's a
so
great
many
idea.
sent in that she went around and passed them to all the other kids.
And a business was created right then and
Yes.
there. That's a wonderful story.
Since the first year, the program's raised over $14 million.
That's great.
And last year, we raised somewhere in the neighborhood of $6.2 million nationwide. For Orlando last year, it was around 60,000 just here in Orlando.
Jeez, that's wonderful. What a great story that is, too. An unfortunate circumstance, but it's turned into something really beautiful. So sorry it's so loud here. My fear is, and we've talked about this, if the music is so loud, because we're on YouTube, we're live on YouTube, if YouTube can hear a copyrighted song, they'll actually cut us off, and there's not much we can do about that.
That would be terrible.
But we're getting to the end of our live podcast, but I want to say thank you for bringing this to our attention. This is a wonderful, wonderful organization. And tell us one more time where people can find you.
Yep, absolutely. If you go on Facebook and look for Extra Life Orlando or just the regular Extra Life page, you also go to extra-life.org and sign up to be either part of your own team or part of ours. And just keep in mind that there's a worldwide gaming event for this on November 7th this year. It's a 24-hour gaming marathon that Twitch, Rooster Teeth, everyone's participating in. But if that, online or anywhere. And the best part about Extra Life is it's on you. So if you want to do your own gaming marathon at your house with your buddies, go ahead and do it. We don't hold you to that specific date. You pick what works for you.
Well, I appreciate you guys bringing it to our attention. You've certainly found the right place to tell us about it here.
Absolutely.
All right, I think we're nearing the end of our web show, just simply because the music has gotten so loud. I'm pretty sure YouTube's going to cut us off. But thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
And we hope to see you again soon. And again, extra-life.org if you want to go to their webpage. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very glad you came over to see me.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you're right. The minute we walked in, we're like, oh, what happened?
Thank you for telling the story, too. That was a very nice story.
And that's the best part, and I always try to tell people, it's like, it works on your time.
Yep.
It's not something that you have to plan. And
Right. I like that it's your time. Absolutely.
Dragons the whole day, right?
That is still very popular. Yeah, you're right. That's a good thing to do. Thank you very much for telling us about that. Hello, how are you?
Hey, Art, how are you?
Wow, that music is super loud. Somebody at YouTube is about to push the red button and shut us off.
You know what? Not yet, because we've still got some viewers.
We're just
so
discussing
it's
how
still going.
copyright issues are going to have us shut off, so we need to talk over the music, or they're just going to kill this feed.
Yeah. And you know what? That's gonna be okay, because we can always talk closer in the microphones and
Right.
turn them down.
As I have not been doing a good job of.
No,
Yes.
you haven't. You're a terrible podcaster.
So the GoPro camera died.
Yeah.
Both flip cameras have filled to capacity. I wanted to tape other shows today, but instead you guys extended the live broadcast, which is great for us because now maybe we can go and enjoy some of this rather than sit here and record.
I just went and got some zombie coffee or whatever this. There's a coffee place that some freebie coffee going
How's
on.
that doing?
And
Good. Well, at least we've got our audio going still, and that camera over there.
We've got audio. We've got this camera over here.
Oh, is this
Still
been
got,
recording the whole time?
Yeah, it's still got like 3 hours left if you want to record more.
Video?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, because you're the only camera I got left. Love it.
this place is jamming.
Yeah, it is.
It's not slowing down either.
It's
Does anybody know what time it is? I don't.
It is 12:30.
Oh my God, I thought it was like 4. I swear to God, I thought it was like 4 o'clock.
Well, we've only you and I know we've only had like 2 hours of sleep. I don't know.
Ed McMahon, give me a timpani. Roll those numbers again. Let's
I
see
know.
how many. Oh God.
Did we raise some money?
Go to commercial. Well, this is great. Well, I want to say a couple things. Starting to my left, Greg Moan, thank you for coming out today and technically helping us and giving us lights to make a white man even whiter. But let people know your webpage where they can find your photographs and give us a little description on what kind of photos you like to take.
Well, I really need to retool my website because it's not exactly what I would consider family friendly. There is some NSFF, SW type stuff not
Well,
safe
of course,
for work.
because and let me say real quick, for the young ladies who are out there, they reach a certain age and they look back and regret saying, "I wish I had taken photos when I was this age."
When I was young and hot.
When I was young and hot. I didn't want to come out and say young and hot like that, but
I do.
okay, you can do that. And you missed that opportunity, and it's unfortunate, and I'm sure they look back at that and regret. Greg takes beautiful, very tasteful photos, and he's been super creative lately. If you want to think about just trampolines or
Girls on it's the man show.
Girls on trampolines,
Right.
the photo version. Grinder pictures, body paint pictures. I mean, there's really, really beautiful work there. Give us the website.
There's a monster. There's a monster
Even
out
though-
the window.
Whoa! Even though you're retooling
Oh, it's a
it.
Hulk. We got a Hulk. Look out!
He's halfway hulked out. Even though you're retooling it, at least let us know the webpage.
My company is called.
well, hold on. Behind us, we've just had some zombies walking.
Crap.
Oh, I know.
Camera hogs.
I know. We got some dead people.
We're trying to do some plugs here.
My website, my company is called Good Egg Productions because I'm a good egg, and I do photo,
I love
do
eggs.
video.
Eggs are delicious. Oh, sorry.
I do even corporate commercial type stuff. So it's not just girls in bikinis; it's all kinds of things, and I also do some audio recording too. So I mean, it's a whole bunch of stuff, but mostly photo and video for right
And
now.
you're getting into some 4K drone activity.
Oh, I did get a drone. Yeah,
He's surveying a Popka right now.
Didn't bring it today.
No,
It would have been dangerous.
Yes, it would have been dangerous. But that's a .com, by the way. GoodEggProductions.com.
It is.
You left that part off. I don't want people to go to .gov and think,
You know what? Nobody even writes .com anymore. Every browser worth its salt just fills it in for you.
But Greg helped out today. He got us on the air, as well as Rodney Dubé did as well. Rodney Dubé is also a photographer. And if you want to give us a little bit of what kind of photos you've been taking, and tell us your webpage as well.
My main focus of taking pictures is trying to get it in focus. So,
All right.
well, no, actually,
That's a little photography humor there.
It's a bit. There's a little bit of truth to it. Yeah. No, I mean, the truth of it is, I'm on a learning journey with it.
Sure.
So I am taking all kinds of stylized pictures, whether it's a longer, delayed kind of thing, like a time lapse sort of style, or scenery or people. Because the moment you start taking a picture of something nice, they're like, "Hey, can you come to my kid's birthday party?"
Right.
Well, I'm really good with the moon and landscapes.
Yep.
But children move around or whatever, So I'm trying to learn all aspects so that I can kind of just drop in and out, and also gives me some variety.
And both of you, actually all three of us, have got wedding experience, whether we want it or not.
I don't mention that. I'm done with weddings.
Well, I've never actually worked weddings.
No weddings.
Nobody ever really works.
I've been best man 5 times.
Right.
Congratulations.
I know. Always
the best man, never the
groom.
You guys have that in common.
Right.
I've not been a best man.
No, but you've been in weddings before.
Oh yeah.
And you're both unmarried.
Yeah.
Right.
Bachelor forever.
Yes.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that,
I'm
because
all
look
about
how
that
happy you are.
Currently happy unmarried.
Super happy.
Right.
I spend all my own money.
Right.
So, also, do you let people know about the Facebook page also for your photos? Or you just
Yeah, if you want to come out and check out Rodney Dubé Photography on Facebook, come just look up my name.
spell Dubé for the kids at home.
I want to check that out.
Dube. It looks like Dube.
Doobie?
It looks like it. I know.
Doobie.
That was the other thing too. You read comic books. Your name is Doobie. Okay, thank you. I heard all that forever and a day.
So, tell me, guys, what we should do. I have somebody else coming at 1 o'clock for another interview that Todd introduced me to. Do we shut down the live broadcast and just do that on tape? Or should we just keep going through the 1 o'clock hour on YouTube?
Well, I mean, there's plenty of people if you wanted to, we can actually. One of the people I was saying we should probably interview is a gentleman by the name of Derek Fish.
Is he here?
He is. He's actually the artist that did the artist renderings for Gods and Monsters.
Oh.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Would you like to try and grab him for us? 'Cause
Yeah,
we've got
he's kind of
time.
busy. I'll take a look and see if I can get him. See if I can get his attention. See if he's got a moment.
I've got another possibility that we can talk about. There's a game. There's an actual game developer here in the house.
Oh, that's
and
right.
they have created what sounds like a terrific game, and you don't really hear about the game developers in Central Florida. They're usually out.
EA
in,
Sports.
Yeah. Well, I guess they do have EA Sports, but
yeah, that's a big company.
I don't know if they're a developer or a publisher. Anyway, so they're available if you want to talk to them.
Absolutely.
I can get them over here.
Let me double check, see if Derek's available.
Yeah, for the 30-second synopsis I got, it sounded really, really interesting. Something I would play.
Was there any visuals over there on that? I haven't seen anything on that.
I have the little information that they gave me here, so you're gonna have to vamp here for a couple of seconds.
Sure. Matter of fact, why don't you come and sit with me for a minute? Sure. Hello. Welcome to the show. Why don't you put on the headset? Give us your first and last name and your job title.
My name is Justin Blinn, and I am the sales titan here at Gods and Monsters.
Justin has said before that he has been keeping Gods and Monsters moving along even before the opening because you've been taking care of their online sales for them. What are online sales been like, or what's it like in an average year?
Average year, we're not 100% on that yet. We actually started on eBay before the grand opening, moving and getting a lot of the word out there about the kind of products we're going to have here.
Right.
We're in the final process of putting together our own online store, so that way we can move away from eBay and provide people better prices, not having to worry about fees and such.
Will the online store just be a part of godmonsters.com, or will this be separate?
No, it'll be part of the actual website itself, so people will be able to access it through our website.
After over 3.5 hours here, I did forget to mention some of the places where you can find us, which is godmonsters.com. You can also go to our YouTube page. Just look up Gods and Monsters. To be more specific, you might want to look up Gods and Monsters Orlando on YouTube, because there are other Gods and Monsters mentions in the world that we live in. So you could find us there. So tell us right now, what's kind of big online for sales right now?
Well, we're going to be focusing a lot on the hot toys, definitely the hot toys, because I know people will always like that.
Yeah. We have hot toys here on display today?
Absolutely.
Yes.
We have RoboCop hot toys, and I know we have some Jason vs. Freddy hot toys in the store.
Jason vs. Freddy coming to Halloween Horror Nights, I've understood, for the 25th anniversary.
Yes, 25 years this year.
They just announced Jason Freddy, so that's very popular right now.
What we'd like to focus a lot online, well, we're going to have an inventory that's going to reflect both online and in the store, so that way it coordinates with each other. But what we'd like to do is put things out there that people can't find in their normal comic book stores. We're actually going to be going to events like San Diego Comic-Con and picking up exclusives to bring back to the store and to put into our online store. So people that can't make it out to California will still be able to find those kinds of things, and not for outrageous prices like some people like to charge in their eBay stores.
Well, this place is just flooded with talent, and I want to thank you for coming in. I know you've been spending many hours, weeks, days, and months here getting this ready in preparation, and I hope you've had a few minutes to just look around and enjoy it yourself.
Watching the people in here today has been more than a reward than all the hours spent here.
That's awesome. Well, I have another guest here. This is one of the tricky things about doing a live show. I can't toss the commercial and then say goodbye to you. I have to actually just say goodbye to you.
Absolutely.
We have another guest. But congratulations on today, and they can look for you guys online sales, and then once again, reminding, godmonsters.com.
Godmonsters.com, online sales within the next month or so.
Okay. Well, thank you, Justin, for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Stop by anytime.
Absolutely.
All right, Art Miles, I want to introduce you. Come on in, Derek.
Have him come on in. Derek?
This is Derek Fish.
Welcome, Derek.
Art Miles.
Welcome to the show. We're live on YouTube. Come on in.
Come on in.
Those are for
Put
you.
on a headset. You're talking to the mic. Derek is he's a very acclaimed artist, and Derek's big claim to fame currently at this exact second, he's the one that did the concept drawings of Gods and Monsters. So the ones you saw on the internet now.
We've been staring at these drawings for over a year now, and when I see what you've drawn and what the front entrance looks like, I'm like, that's it. That's what he drew, and that's what they made. The interiors, I've used the interior shots of yours for a couple of the episodes that I've interviewed with Todd, where I was like, Todd, I give him a microphone, walk through this big giant empty store of a airport hangar and tell us what it's going to look like, and he would describe it, and we would cut away to your photos, and I got to tell you, it's exactly what they dreamed up. It's beautiful. Tell us about where you got the direction for some of these drawings that you put together, or were they over your shoulder while you were drawing, or you were kind of left alone?
For the most part, I was left alone. I came here with Todd and Anna back when it was still just an empty storefront.
Right.
And we didn't even have the lights on in it, which was kind of funny because I'm
for months.
I'm snapping photos in the dark, wondering whether or not there's going to be ghosts.
There's a lot of talk about working in the dark in this place for a while because no electricity.
The first episode that we shot video of
was in the
Todd
dark.
Through the store, totally in the dark. So thank Rodney for the good quality camera that
seriously,
day.
we did the lighting with the iPhone.
Yeah.
We put on the flashlight mode so I could shoot it with my Canon
So
camera.
that he could describe what he was going to doing, and then we used your photo. So good. You were kind of left alone to do your drawings?
Pretty much. We had a bunch of conversations back and forth. I'd worked with Todd before on some concept design stuff, so we had kind of the rapport going with that. So there really wasn't very much to... I know there's really not too much of it, except he told me what he wanted, what the ideas he wanted. The areas were broken down for me, like the Transmetropolitan Gallery and the Noodle Station, with a very heavy Blade Runner influence. And so I've been doing this kind of stuff, like concept illustration stuff, for years now. So it's just a matter of visualizing it. I gave them some rough sketches. They liked the sketches, and I just kept tightening them up, pretty much first draft.
Well, you've had an opportunity now to spend a couple of hours here. What are some of for those that aren't there and are watching at home, what are some of the big surprises that kind of surprised you today as you came into the store?
the funny thing is that even though I've been here, and again, I was here when it was a giant empty space, but when it's full of stuff, it kind of blew my mind that it kept going.
Yeah.
I thought I was like going to the bathroom earlier, and I'm like, okay, it's over here, I think. And wait, there's more store behind this shelf. There's like a whole place to sit down and eat, and there's a movie screen, and it just keeps going. It's just wild. And I mean, the amount of detail they put into stuff, like we're under the Arkham receiving signs.
The detail of it. We
Ah.
mentioned before, Spider was up on the, even over by the brick walls and up here, just weathering these things, like one little piece at a time. He had a paintbrush and he was just going through it. And it's just, the work here is just amazing. So when you're not doing artist renderings of people's future job locations, what do you like to do full time?
Well, I'm comic book art for the most part. Right now I'm working for a company called Hashtag Studios on a book called Carpe Noctem, which is a vampire comic.
Todd spoke to me about this earlier, yes.
I self-publish my own material. I do an online comic strip called Dandy and Company, and I have a 12-issue fantasy adventure book called The Wellkeeper. So between that and actually my regular graphic stuff right now is I'm doing some of this for a theme park that's going to be over in the Middle East. I'm doing the same kind of stuff.
Do you consider Orlando your home, or do you travel a lot and you just have to be here right now?
I'm currently living in Tampa. I'm getting ready to move up north to Pennsylvania in the end of the summer.
Oh, end of the summer. Will you be going to I don't know the name, the Tampa Con at the end of July?
Unfortunately, no. We've been there the last couple of years because right now we live out in Tampa, and it's like so easy to go to.
I was thinking,
but it's pretty much scheduled almost the same week we're moving.
Moving week.
Yeah.
And then how is the move going to be affecting your work in the future? Is it going to benefit you in any way?
It'll definitely benefit me because I'm going to get my own office now instead of co-opting the dining room.
Oh, okay.
We've all been there.
And Pennsylvania has seasons, and I can't stand not seasons.
Well, you don't like the 2 seasons of Florida? Hot and really hot?
No. Strangely enough, I've been here for 20 years, and I feel like I'm done.
I went outside
like
this morning.
it's exactly like the first day you moved in. You're like, day hasn't changed. It's still hot.
Rodney and I left here at 3 a.m. last night and couldn't believe how humid it was.
Oh my
So
God!
I ran into this building at 8 a.m. this morning and I haven't gone back out yet.
A little footnote about this little area and stuff, and also 3 a.m. I gotta admit, I-4 at 3 a.m. is a pleasure to drive on.
It's a creepy pleasure to drive on.
I could actually get home in 20 minutes. Now, at 8:30 in the morning, it took me an hour to get down here, only because there was an accident.
One accident.
One accident.
Well,
killed the whole thing.
A lot of people will say, I-4 is Orlando's greatest attraction because all a car has to do is slow down on the side of the road and everyone stops.
Yeah. Everybody's watching.
Right.
That's right. And do you have any future projects that you're working on right now that you can tell us about?
Right now, the main project that's taking up the majority of my time is I'm co-writing and illustrating again Carpe Noctem. Working on the 6th issue right now. The 2nd issue just came out in stores. I am remastering a comic that I did back in the early 90s called Apparition, which is a supernatural superhero
And
book.
what you mean by remastering? What exactly?
The
you're
director's
doing?
cut.
Sort of. Basically,
Going to obviously your art has improved.
the art has changed considerably.
Right.
But the thing is that I still like the character. It's a supernatural superhero
Yeah.
guy, and I have some new ideas that I'd love to do. And I'm like, but I didn't want to do a reboot because I hate reboots. So
Okay.
I'm like, I'm going to take these books that I self-published as a fanzine 20 years ago, and I'm going to fix the typos, re-letter it, fix the script a little bit because I've learned how to write better.
You're gonna Lucasfy it. That's okay though.
You're not going to turn machine guns into walkie-talkies,
Right,
are you?
exactly.
No, I
Right.
did remove an entire panel that was just I couldn't fix it. So I was like, okay,
I know how people
I'm
give,
redrawing that.
people give George Lucas a hard time when he wants to go back and remaster his work. But then I go back and look at projects that I've edited, and a year later, I'm like, I want to go back and fix that. I totally get that.
Constantly. And the thing, the George Lucas thing, it kind of drives me nuts because people are like, oh, it's all about the money. It's all about the money. No, if it was all about the money, well, for starters, he wouldn't have given the $4 billion to charity.
Right.
But also, if it was all about the money, he would just keep re-releasing it with new special features.
Right.
That's passion to go back in and say, I
Absolutely.
have to keep working on this.
Yeah.
That's obviously someone who cares. Whether or not you agree or disagree with his choices, with the exception of the Khan and Greedo and then the weird Job the Hutt scene.
Yes.
For the most part, I like almost all, and the musical number in Jedi. But
you're kind of doing that. Oh, my mic just started crackling on me. So this is something you're kind of doing with your comic book. You're kind of
Yeah.
going back and revisiting it.
A little bit more like Robert Wise did for the DVD director's cut of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Not really changing anything, but
Good
I'm
example,
fixing
yeah.
the things that were wrong in a way that makes it look like that's the way it was supposed to have
that's
been.
a good example then. Yeah.
Now let me ask you this: when it comes to your timeline, how long does it take you to kind of get a book done? What kind of between you've got the story, you've done your layouts, you're doing your inking. How long from that point do you have till you got to get it to the printer to get it, say, out by August? What is your
Generally speaking, for the book I'm working on now with Carpe Noctem, because that is an actual paying gig, it's not my self-publishing thing. I've got a schedule and a deadline, so it's up to me to get that done in under a month, if at all possible, for the full pages, so that the colorist can get to it, and then it comes back to me to letter because I'm a control freak.
Well, if people wanted to find you on the web or Facebook or wherever you like to be found, where can people find you?
Easiest way is DerrickFish.com, DerrickFish.com.
And also, you can find Derek today at
Right
his
here.
artist booth over the Artist Gallery because
Yes,
he's
indeed.
doing sketches and
I'm sitting right under Dr. Octopus on the mural.
Find
There
him
you
now
go.
because he's moving up north, folks. You're
I
not going
know.
to see him here in Orlando.
I know.
possibly
See him
for a
now.
This
while.
is my last Central Florida shebang.
Yeah. Well, I've said this before. I feel weird. We don't take commercial breaks. It's all live. But my next guest is here, and I don't get a chance to do a commercial break and then have you leave. I have to have you walk out actually in the middle of it. But thank you for coming
Thank
out.
you for coming, Derek.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck.
Thank you.
We definitely need commercial breaks.
Thanks again, Derek.
Is that still rolling? That's a good idea. Thank you.
Come on in. Come on in.
Come on in. I was just explaining how strange it is that we're live on YouTube. We don't get to take a commercial break. So
is there any way I can have my co-host on?
Sure, absolutely. Have in the chair right there, and the microphone and the headset. Come on up. This is so weird. I was just saying,
Right here?
we're on YouTube, so we don't get to take commercial breaks. So I had to let the previous guest know that I'm not going to take a commercial break. I'm going to have to let you know our next guest is here, and we're going to have you to get up.
Okay.
So I'm Art Howard. Nice to meet you.
Ricky Nix. Nice to meet you, Art.
Ricky, and who's this?
Steven Spivak.
Ricky and Steven. So tell us what you're doing here today at Gods and Monsters, except besides, of course, appreciating all this. What are you specifically doing here today?
So today we are here on behalf of Defiant Giant. It's a production company that was I started in Los Angeles last year when I was living there. Now that I'm out here in Orlando, in addition to short films, we do podcasts, video blogs, written blogs, a lot of things. But one of our big hot topics as of late has been our podcast, Defiant Giant Radio. Today we're here grabbing video footage. We were here roughly a month ago to get a sneak peek. We did Steven hosted one of our shows.
Yeah, definitely great before and after pictures if you were here a month ago.
Yes, for sure. He did a podcast episode where he interviewed Todd, and then I did some video blog footage with Anna. Both can be found on the site, the Defiant Giant website, and on iTunes. So today we're here as fans.
Sure.
We've been chomping at the bit to get here, waiting for this place to open up, and now it's finally here.
I know.
Steven, what do you think?
I think it's amazing.
You guys, you're going to record a podcast today while you're here?
I don't think we have the means to do so today.
We weren't planning on getting that done today. Today we're just focusing strictly on the video side of things. We've been interviewing cosplayers and
right. Well, there's plenty of them today. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I think the major thing is we're here as fans.
Yeah.
We've been following this since its inception. So to see it finally come to fruition is amazing.
I've got a lot of before videos that I shot, like a year ago when it was just an empty building and they didn't have power for a couple of months. And
Right.
now to see it now, it's just so cool. It's
Yeah,
just
it is
the
cool,
coolest.
right?
It really, really is.
I'm so glad it's here.
And I was discussing this with another podcaster who was here earlier today. Growing up as a kid, we go to the mall. There were very few malls where you would walk in and spend an hour or so inside of, except for maybe a bookstore or something like
Yeah.
that. This seems to be the place where you could walk around and suddenly look at your watch and 30 minutes has gone by and you didn't even realize it.
30 minutes. I've been here for 2.5 hours already.
Yeah, but this place is awesome. I like what I see.
I don't know if you'd mentioned it before. Where can people find your podcast on the web?
It can be found on the Defiant Giant website, which is thebigdg.com.
Okay.
Also,
iTunes
as well.
iTunes under Defiant Giant Radio. Subscribe and download for free on both platforms.
Well, you've had a couple hours to walk around here. For me, the biggest surprise was how many little kids not only were here, but little kids that were dressed up in costumes.
Yeah, I saw a kid that looked like Two-Face.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I thought that was cool.
So great.
He's my favorite comic book villain, so.
Now that you've had a couple hours to walk around, what are some of the bigger surprises that kind of shocked you as you came in today?
Some of the biggest surprises.
The facade work in here is amazing.
Yeah, the detail, just beautiful.
The facade work.
Absolutely. When we were like I said, when we were here a month ago, he gave us like pretty much a tour of the area. He told us where everything was going to be, but like I said, when you actually see it completed, it doesn't quite hold up to just a description. I like it all. I mean,
and for people to be watching this on YouTube, you got to see this.
Oh, yeah, you got to be here in person.
It really is, just to see the details in the work. But the fact, something I've never seen before, and certainly in a comic book store, is that there's a full gallery here, and they're giving an opportunity for young and upcoming artists to show their work and sell their work. They got some just sitting on the walls right here, you know. But I don't see that anywhere else in a mall or a comic book store or anything like that. It's a very unique place.
It is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I like what I see, and I plan on spending a lot of time here.
Yes.
And money.
And maybe money.
Money.
Lots of money.
And money.
Yeah. What are? Can you give us a description of any upcoming podcasts and just topics of discussion that you're going to have?
We for all the wrestling fans out there,
it's a sad week.
For the passing of the American Dream.
Yeah.
For all the wrestling WWE fans, there's a local wrestler by the name of Leva. She wrestles on NXT as Blue Pants. But
she lives here?
Yeah, she lives local in the area. She's agreed to do the show. We'll probably do that here within the next couple of weeks, so people can stay tuned for that. As far as the shows go, me and Steve here are 2 of 5 hosts. There's 5 of us.
A little roundtable discussion there. All right.
So the show started in Los Angeles. July 4th will be the 1-year anniversary of our first show. It used to be just movies because I'm a film student. I'm currently at Full Sail getting my second film degree.
How long have you been at Full Sail? My mic is cutting out.
I've been at Full Sail for roughly 9 months now in the film program. So when it started, it was strictly movies because that's my jam. Then, ever since I moved out here to Orlando, I've added 4 new hosts. Steven, who does the comic book shows, and he does a wonderful job at that. We have our friend Jose de Gracia, who does all the wrestling shows.
Okay.
We have Lilith Love, who does all the anime shows. And then our last host is Paige Curley, who does all shows that revolve around video games.
So you've expanded to a lot more than just movies.
Our demographic is expanded.
You could fill hours of podcast just talking about movies, but it sounds like you could do this show every day of the week if you had the time.
Absolutely.
Sorry, just cutting out.
Hello. Thank you. Hi. Hello. Now I'm a totally different person.
Right.
Thank you for that. So how many days a week do you try to tape your show?
We release shows at least twice a week, and then we have we're up to almost show 30 at this point with 6 other shows that are completed, ready to go at our will.
We do recording in large groups because as Full Sail students we don't get a lot of free time.
Oh, Greg, this one's cut too. I'm starting to think it's The Wire. Oh, I can hold it. Live shows.
Right.
It's The Wire, but now you know what? I just bend it over, and I think The Wire's okay.
That's live entertainment for you.
Yeah,
It happens.
I just noticed it started crackling on me.
But since you brought up the whole thing about YouTube and
Yes.
live streaming, we do live streams as well. I have a friend who's named Jeff Celestino. He DJs under the name DJ On One, and we've been known to do live streaming sessions of his him DJing out of my apartment, and we'll just stream it live on YouTube, and we'll do it on a weeknight because that's when we get the most traffic in the line.
I think you got
I love the live streaming ideas. We got guests here.
Okay.
It's always great to be photobombed, even if it is with zombies. Oh.
Yeah.
And you can come to expect things just like this. We may lose a few kids, but you know.
I must have a lovely aroma.
Yeah, he likes Steve apparently.
Oh, give us an example of one of your movie podcasts. Like, what do you like? Do you kind of dive into a movie, or you kind of dissect it?
Sometimes we did an Avengers review.
Yeah,
that was one of our
the
shows.
newest ones.
Yes, the newest Avengers. We also did a similar show for Guardians of the Galaxy when it came out last year.
Yeah.
Our last movie show that we did was this past Monday. We did a show about Will Smith. We just devoted a show to Will Smith, and we had like a roundtable discussion. And
I was saying that it took me a good 2 days to even realize Will Smith was in that photo with Harley
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was staring at her. I was like, oh wait, that's Will Smith. He's in that. Yeah.
He's playing Deadshot, right?
Yeah.
And, Suicide.
Deadshot.
Yeah. Who knows?
So we had a roundtable discussion. Myself and my guests, we each compiled a list of our top 5 favorite Will Smith movies, and then we just went around comparing our list.
What was your number 1 on that list?
Men in Black, of course.
Men in Black.
No,
yes.
that's where you tell him they have to listen to the show to find out.
That too.
See, there you
just
go.
gave the spoiler alert there.
Well, there was myself and 4 other people, so we didn't all have the same number 1. So.
Where did the I Am Legend? Where did that fall on your list?
Now you have to listen to the show. To find out.
That's good. That's a good tease. That's how you tease that show. That's
I
good.
learned fast. So we've done movie reviews. That was the second Will Smith show like that we did. We did a similar show for George Clooney a few months back. We did an Oscars. We had a prediction show and then we had a post show for the Oscars.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
In addition to, and aside from the movie stuff, we did a
Underrated
actors.
Actors.
Underrated actors.
Right.
We did a WrestleMania show where we talked about our predictions. We'll do pay-per-view for WWE events because we're all wrestling fans as well.
You'll do a live? Like,
We did a live stream for WrestleMania. Now that I remember, up his mic.
I think now did his mic cut off?
Stevens. Wait, maybe he can borrow mine. Hold on.
Oh wait. I think you got. All right,
I
you're
can hear
back.
myself
You're
again. There we
back.
go. It's lovely.
So, do you guys like to talk about movies before you've seen them? Like, have you had a chance to see Jurassic World?
I saw Jurassic World yesterday.
Okay, I haven't yet, and I read half of a review, and then I stopped. The Wall Street Journal just.
I try to stay away from reviews because I don't like being influenced in any way before I see anything.
Jeez.
Maybe you can borrow mine.
Hello.
I've
Okay,
never
I'm
had
back.
issues
I'm
with
back,
mine.
and we're back.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's hard to. You see the headlines on reviews, and you just hear one key word, and you're like, uh-oh.
Right.
I'm doing the same thing with movie trailers. I've done my best to stay away from the Star Wars trailer.
Right.
Because the point of trailers is to convince you to go see the movie. I'm convinced. You
Yeah,
don't need to
right.
even make a
It's Star Wars. I'm convinced just with the word Star Wars.
I would think people would be even more excited if they made no trailers for it and just build the hype. But, the studios won't let you do that.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that I try to stay away from everything before going to see a movie because I did that with Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
And a lot of people did not like that film, and I went into it with very little expectation, and I absolutely loved it.
I'm thinking that's what's going to happen with Jurassic World because the reviews are coming out and people are kind of hammering it.
I don't see why. I had no issues with it.
Well, that's good then. That's good to hear. One of the things that the Journal said, Wall Street Journal, was how surprised they were. They were not happy with just the graphics, the look of it. I mean, the dinosaurs, is that distracting in any way?
My other friends that I'm here with, they had a similar conversation walking in the door.
You think that wouldn't be a problem anymore these days?
I didn't have an issue with it.
I've noticed from just what I've seen in the trailers, it does look a little cartoony.
Yeah.
But I mean,
did you see it in 3D?
I did not. I'm not big on 3D.
I'm not either. It's more of a distraction than a way to enjoy a movie.
Right.
And the reviewer.
Sometimes it works though. Like the last movie that I saw in 3D that I really enjoyed was Tron Legacy, and that was roughly 5 years ago.
Very sad topic right now.
I enjoyed Age of Ultron in 3D.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I remember seeing Gravity IMAX 3D here at the Point Orlando, but now that you brought up the Tron, sad times.
Yeah, I signed a petition. I don't even know if that stuff works. It's upon us again.
Thank you.
Hello?
Another great 3D movie was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Okay, I never saw that, but
that was amazing. I really enjoyed that one.
I bet it was.
Hello. Okay, I just can't hear it.
He's with us.
It's because we're just so electric. We're blowing everything up.
I can't hear my voice anymore. Okay, I do hear it now. Thank you.
All right.
I did see Guardians of the Galaxy in 3D, and I really did. I'm glad I did that. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed about Tron 3, of course.
I hope like something changes.
Something changes.
I would love
maybe
to see
a little
it.
more time needs to pass, but then we start to lose, the actors that need to be involved in that to be successful.
I think it's a lot of the sequels that come out are ones that not a whole lot of people are asking for.
Yeah.
Like why can't we have a Tron 3 but we get a Smurfs 2? Like I don't know.
That's disappointing. My kids and I play on the PlayStation. We play the Disney Infinity game, and they've already come out with what's going to be on version 3.0, which is going to be all Star Wars.
Right.
But they've also included Korra and Sam Flynn to be characters that are going to be in it. And I hope they still continue to do that because now they've canceled the movie. I think it's too far. They have to.
Right.
That's happened before where they came out with a Lone Ranger playset for Disney Infinity, and then the movie didn't do so well.
Right.
But big fan of the Tron series. I'm
Me
very
too.
disappointed to see that because it could have gone in so many different directions now that they're back on Earth. I guess you could say Earth.
Yeah.
With Korra, but
maybe Disney could change their mind in a couple of years.
Disney did have a cartoon for a little while. Is that still on the air?
The Disney Tron Legacy? No.
It was a Tron cartoon on like Disney XD.
It's on Netflix right now. No, the movie was Legacy. It was Tron Uprising. Thank you.
Yes.
That's
Love
on Netflix?
that.
That's on Netflix?
That's on Netflix, or it was. You think it still is? Beginning to end, I love that series.
The animation in that was
Fantastic.
nice.
It reminded me a lot of Aeon Flux, I believe. You know,
Okay.
the tall, skinny characters, and it's very. I
The
loved
jittery
it.
animation was
It's-
unique.
It happens between the first and second movie. Was this cartoon series? It was fantastic.
Outstanding.
Well, we do have another guest coming on, but I want to tell you guys once again to let us know the Facebook page or the website where we can find your podcast.
The website is thebigdg.com. That's TheBigDG.com. Find us on Twitter at The Big DG Films and on Instagram also at The Big DG Films.
Facebook as well, Defiant Giant Productions.
Right. Well, I hope to see you guys here again. We hope to continually do podcasts here. We can get into some group forums, perhaps, and if we're not always in this location, it'd be nice to go off into the back booths for a true roundtable discussion where they built some round tables.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
I was looking at we've done some Cards Against Humanity shows as well, so I'll probably do one back there as well.
Okay. Well, good. We hope to see you guys again. Thank you for coming out.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us.
Feel free to stop by anytime because we'll be here periodically.
All right, man. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. And once again, we're not breaking for commercial, so get ready for the awkward goodbye.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, guys. That was fun.
Well, this is still working. It just sounds weird now. Switch me to 2. Oh, is 1 just shut off now? Yeah, it just... Oh, there we go.
There you go. Whatever you did is working good now. Well, come back and sit because it looks like we've kind of lost everyone. Come on in. Hey, come on in.
Hello there. Nice to meet you.
I'm Art. How are you?
Good, Connor.
Connor? Come on in. Have a seat. Let me know that you can hear that, okay?
Yep.
Well, Connor, kind of tell us what you're doing here. Give us your first impression.
All right. Well, basically, what we're doing here is we are showing off our latest game, Bit Evolution, for Major Games. We released
Connor, I need you to come right up into
Little
that
closer,
microphone.
yeah, there you go.
Great.
Awesome.
Bit Evolution, you said?
Yes, Bit Evolution. So essentially what Bit Evolution is it is a game that you start out as the Puck from the game Pong.
Okay.
And
I love it already.
He escapes from
1976 or something
Oh yeah,
like that?
way back when, like first video game. And eventually he gets sick of just being batted back and forth by the paddles all day.
Sure.
And breaks free of his paddle overlords and goes on to evolve into like an Atari-inspired world. And then gets through that, then goes on to like a Game Boy-inspired world. Basically, you get to play through the entire history of games in one.
Good. He's taking baby
single
steps.
game.
No giant leap all the way to Grand Theft Auto 5. You know, he's going to take the steps and go through the evolution of gaming.
Exactly. But yeah, so what we're doing here today is we're just getting, we've got a demo set up. We're showing it off to the community here.
Is it like a trailer? Like a?
No, we've actually got the game playable here over in the corner back there. We really are big into just showing off our stuff directly to the community instead of sort of being that like big publisher who's back behind their giant wall of marketing. We like to get up there and really directly talk with the end user about the game, figure out what they like about the game, what they think could be improved, and take that feedback to heart and find a way to improve it in whatever way we can.
And where is your base of operations? Are you based out of Orlando here?
We're based out of Winter Park, so just outside of
Winter
Orlando.
Park. Oh, that's even better. Winter Park is so nice there.
Oh yeah.
And are you students of Full Sail, or did you what kind of school, or is it just a situation where you just I know how to code some stuff and I'm using Python or whatever language it is, and here's a game?
Actually, most of our team went to Full Sail for our master's degree in game design.
Excellent.
And we just sort of all met up there and we're like, hey, we've got these abilities to make a game and we don't want to go work for a giant corporation where we don't have any final input on the product. So we just sat down, we started up our own company and went forward from there, and it's been a great experience.
How long ago did you start up the company up until today?
It was October last year, so...
Okay, so you're moving quick. You're here with a game, a playable game right now.
Yep.
Well, that's good. So, will you have an official launch date?
The game actually launched on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
So not a beta anymore.
Nope, not a beta. It is a real full game.
And this is a premiere party for you as well. I'm glad you got it out here for people to see.
What sort of platforms
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
is the game available on?
Right now, it is currently available on Steam, which is the largest digital distribution platform on PC, and it's available for PC and Mac through there. and we are currently working with Sony and Microsoft as well as mobile publishers to bring it to those platforms later in this year.
That was my next question: is are the games going to come to iPhone and Android?
Yes, we are actually looking to make an adapted version for iPhone and Android because old-style platforming is very hard to do without having the physical buttons on there.
Right.
So we have worked on adapting a runner we're thinking of adapting a game where the player is automatically moving and you simply have to time the jumps.
Oh, okay.
But we're just trying to sort of work around that right now and find a good way to bring it to users that it will be a good experience overall.
Do you have somebody on your team right now that works with apps, or is that somebody you have to go outside of your group to do that?
It's actually a pretty simple process to convert a standard game to an app. We're using an engine where we can simply go through and from a drop-down say publish it to iPhone or iOS. But then we have to go through and put certain things in like touch controls and stuff like that wouldn't be in a PC thing. But we don't actually have to go through and recode the thing because of the way that we had it set up.
It'd be funny if when you asked them the question of what console or where can you play this game, if you only said the Radio Shack Pong controller that I had from 1980.
Oh, got it.
It was like a rectangular thing. It was Radio Shack on it, and all it was a knob that you did back and forth to play Pong, and that was it.
Well, that's fun.
That's the only place it'd be available. That's
See,
funny.
now that's the history of games right there. And the thing is,
Yeah.
is like these old games, like so many of us grew up with, like you can't really get that experience anymore. It's all about this like super high tech, advanced graphics.
Well, I think some of the best games, especially for like iPhone, are the simple games. You know, the simple ones that you pick up, you play for a couple of minutes, and then you keep playing because you're frustrated because you want to get next to that. You want to get to that next level or that next whatever, and it just gets harder and harder.
You
and harder.
put a bird in a slingshot and you fling him in the air. How
Angry
simple
Birds.
is that?
What the hell? You know?
No, and really the reason we chose to do this as our first game is we figured the best way to move forward is to start by analyzing our past and really just sort of give this love letter to our history in there and just sort of learn from what people have done before we started. And then once we've done that, we can move forward and do bigger and better things.
It sounds like a game designed and built for people who love games. And,
Exactly.
and all games. The whole gambit of games since the beginning.
Kind of our age group because we were kind of there at the beginning of games. Not your age group, because you look like you're 25 years old. Talking about 40 years old, 40 or 40 plus that can remember Pong and the Texas Instruments home computer, and then eventually the
Atari.
Commodore 64 and the Atari.
Oh, sorry, I went too fast.
Yes. So not only do you have a game for us, but you're teaching us the history of games as well.
No, and it's been really great, especially at events like this, where you see like small kids, like 6 years old or so, who are able to come over, pick up the game, and start playing, and really have a great time with it. There's been a couple kids here today who have like left and come back 5 or more times already, much to their parents' dismay.
Well,
but
I feel like there's a resurgence in looking back at classical games. The perfect example of that being this new movie called Pixels with Adam Sandler.
That's going to be horrible.
No.
Yeah,
Here's what I think. I think that Adam Sandler did not write or direct or have anything to do with this movie. I think he just shows up in this movie. Kevin James also, God help us.
I stand by my opinion. That movie's going to be horrible.
But visually, and then what's his name from Game of Thrones is in it too. The guy who's like the Pac-Man champ. Yeah. It looks cool. The new trailer is out where they look up and it's the whole Donkey Kong thing, and you can see him. They're throwing barrels at him.
I don't know.
It's a way to reflect and look back at the games that we loved as a kid.
If you get really stoned and go to watch it, maybe it'll be funny. But
you know,
I don't have
I'm just
hopes.
hearing in my earpiece.
It feels like a cash in. That's my problem with it.
I'm hearing in my earpiece that we just lost that sponsor.
Oops. Anyway, I was given a special code to play this game. So the next time that we do a podcast, I'll be able to report back. I'll be able to report back my experience with the game. I'm very excited to play it because it feels like a game that was designed especially for me, somebody who's played through all eras of game. And I know it only goes up to like the 16-bit type Super Nintendo. But I mean that was my heyday. That was I wasted.
Here we go!
I wasted many of my college days and evenings playing Super Nintendo, and I should have been studying, and that's why I'm doing a podcast right now, and I'm not running a Fortune 500 company.
I still remember seeing Mario for the first time in your living room, and you could spin the camera around. You could see this whole
No.
world.
That was 64.
Nintendo 64. Yeah.
So we weren't quite there yet, but crazy.
It's just funny that's I remember doing that from your living room. So, are you looking beyond this game now to what the next step will be? Will there be a sequel to this game, or are you just focusing on this right now?
Right now, we're looking at. We're probably not going to do a sequel to this game in the near future. We might go through and add some additional like worlds as DLC to the title.
Oh yeah,
but,
DLC. That's where the money is. In-game purchase.
But really, we're just starting to look at what our next project's going to be, where we can move forward to from here, and we want to just try to push our limits as far as we can and not get too comfortable doing one particular type of game over and over.
Have you received any reception so far? I mean, I understand that it just launched, but have you received any feedback yet?
Yeah, the feedback that we have gotten has actually been very positive. Like we're getting there was a review up on IGN the other day that was like an 81, which is actually very good.
That's really good.
Really good for a starting indie game right
I've seen
now.
AAA titles that don't get that.
Right.
So we're working really hard to try and take any feedback that we do get from players to help improve the game further, even if it isn't going to improve our review score.
That's awesome.
We just want to make a game that we're proud of.
Well, it's good. Kind of the point of having this here at Gods and Monsters is to have a podcast that we can continually do weeks, months at a time. So it'd be great for you to stop by whenever and just kind of update us on what's the next step for you guys. It's cool to talk to somebody who's like on the ground floor of something new and really cool. And it'd be nice to just have you let us know how your progress is going over the next few months.
Yeah,
I bet this is a big time right now for you, isn't it? This is like premiere week for you.
Oh yeah,
Give us all the details again of the game and the company and all that, and how to get in touch with you.
The game is Bit Evolution, created by Major Games, and we are currently available on Steam for 25% off with the Steam Summer Sale.
Nice.
And it is available for Mac and PC as of right now.
I'm definitely going to check that out this weekend.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
As soon as we
Thanks,
finally,
Connor.
Thank you very much for coming by. As soon as we finally turn this machine off, I'm going to go over there and take a look at it.
All right.
Art needs a break.
Thank you very much for stopping by. It's a great idea.
We're going to have a extended commercial break.
We'll be right back.
Do we have something? No. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the time. Definitely, if you get bored, feel free to stop back over there.
Walk over there, and then in the future, come stop by here and see if you can find us. Give us an update.
This place seems awesome, so we're going to be dropping by here pretty often.
Please do, because we like to hear stories like yours.
Awesome.
Thank you. Oh, that was actually that's the last one. Should we kind of come back and say bye? Gonna come back and bring another guest. Is that still rolling? All right, let's say goodbye. Oh my God. Yeah, just sit him down and start talking to him. This is really comfortable. Sometimes somebody will sit down and have no idea who they are. They're just talking. I remember you said, oh good, Rodney's, we're still on, we just kind of took a little break. I'm feeling pretty good. You want to just kind of do a little wrap-up thing? Should we just want to keep rolling on this live show? Because we've almost spent every camera. I can't imagine me trying to load that GoPro 2 camera when it's one long 2.5 hour clip. What's that? Everyone's gone? What's that? All right, then we can just record it with your camera and this, and you can just edit it later. Well, should we just say goodbye? Rodney.
Check. We've just been told there are 0 views. Oh, you stopped that recording? I've just been told we have 0 viewers now. They are spent. It's been 3+ hours.
Oh my gosh, this is really loud.
Yeah.
All right.
Again, I feel bad that which one is it, number 3?
I don't know. We really should have set this up so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. But
they got moved around. I'm going to move it on you. Check.
That's better. Yeah.
That's you?
Now
okay.
I can't hear it.
Wow,
there we
there's
go.
A fine line there. There's a fine line.
Yeah.
Let's say our goodbyes because we're down to 0 viewers now. That's when you know it's time to stop, when no one's watching. So this is just really for the families now who say they're going to come back and watch us. We're just going to kind of sign off, final thoughts.
Is it time to take a break? Is that we're finally gonna?
We're taking a break.
Greg just took a look. We're down to 0 viewers because they're spent.
Yeah,
You know
they're like, I'm tired of your stories.
Because they watched it at the beginning and they drove down here.
That's
why
exactly.
They're,
They're
not
here.
watching.
They're like, well, why should I look at this? I could just see it.
Right. Well, thank you guys again for helping out, technically getting us on the air. Greg brought his lights. Greg brought his microphone. Rodney the other night learned how to go from web camera to computer to Flash to YouTube and made it happen for us, or we wouldn't be on the air at all.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm tired, but I'm not. I'm really excited. This is fun.
I'm tired. I'll be honest with you.
You know what? We left here at 3.
We left here at 3.
And I came back at 8.
I hit REM sleep at 7. I did. I started to dream, and then the alarm went off at 7. So the dream didn't last that long.
Have you done any podcasting before?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
When you're behind the microphone and you're continually talking, you do get a weird high.
Yeah, there is something weird. Like I don't want to stop, but somebody
you
should
could
stop
probably.
me.
You need to take a break and maybe get some food or something.
I did stand up and walk around.
I said to Todd, I said, I was joking around when I said, I told him, I said, Todd, I know you didn't get any sleep all these months putting this together. I said, I know Art and I didn't get any sleep because we were last night setting up. But I said, poor Art's over there like Richie Cunningham. Yowza, yowza, yowza. All right, just doing it. Just trying to keep it going. Yowza, yowza, yowza.
So if you're going to try to make this a semi-regular thing, I'm more than interested in being
Good.
involved.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm more than interested in running.
Just put all your equipment in the back of my car. Thank you.
Well, I might need
but there is a plan here. It's not part of phase 1 for sure, but phase 2 is going to have a permanent location here somewhere. But that's going to take some time because they still got more important things to put together. But for now, the thought has always been to have a permanent location where we can come in and flip a switch and just start talking.
Oh, you know what's really good too? Now that we're not talking to any guests, they turn the music off.
Of course. Right. Don't worry, YouTube probably. I'm amazed they didn't shut us down. It was so loud, the music that was coming through. When we did our test yesterday, by the way, I had some music playing through my phone. I looked at looked at it later, and then in blue it said, "This show is blocked in some countries."
Oh.
Which means some music did pop up on there somewhere, and it blocked it. When I put my demos together, I put together a whole bunch of promos for Gods and Monsters. One of the promos had a Tron song on there, and I put them all up on YouTube last week. It said, this clip is blocked in certain countries, and it showed me why. It was for 2 Tron songs.
You know, it's interesting. I saw on CNN last night there was riots in France and Bangladesh. So that could have been
Way to go, Art.
Yeah, that could have been.
That could have been
me.
You started a revolution.
Right.
There were so many other things I wanted to talk about. I want to talk more about Christopher Lee passing away in his great career. I wanted to talk about Samuel L. Jackson made a mention that he's not going to be in the next Captain America movie.
Let's do this. Let's take a medium-sized extended break, and then maybe we'll come back and do some more talking. I could talk. I could talk all day.
So, let this roll, or shut it down and then start another one. What do you prefer technically?
I think.
You know what? We could probably stop the live.
All right.
Or if we can have the live go. I mean, what's the big deal?
Would you feel better shutting it down and just starting a new one, or is that too complicated?
It's not that complicated.
Yeah, let's shut down for a while, and then let's reflect. I mean, we're still hours and hours away from the costume contest.
Oh, yeah.
The chicks flipping in the air, that hasn't happened yet, unless I missed it.
I have a couple friends coming for the costume contest.
Awesome.
I have
Of
another
course
friend
you
of
do.
mine coming at 3 after she gets out of work.
Sure.
Of course I get out of here. What are you? I need to play that. I need to play that Star Wars game. I need to play some pinball.
Oh, you're right. I want to go to the
might
Star Wars
need
game.
to get a sandwich.
Yeah, I think food is in order. I think not only that,
beer.
I'm also thinking there's an air mattress. I might actually.
Yeah, actually in the back room there, where Spider and Mouse have been staying, or Mouse anyway that I know of, has just been living here. Actually, Mouse might be face down.
Like Spider and Mouse are in a bad Matrix remake or something.
Mouse he may be face down and didn't experience any of this day today. I don't even know.
Yeah.
All right. For now, we're going to sign off. I'm going to say that's Rodney Dubé on the other end.
That's me.
That's Greg Moen. My name is Art Miles. We are Gods and Monsters, and we hope to see you again very soon.
Cheers.
Now we have to awkwardly stand up and turn the machine off instead of go to commercial. Thank you.
Well, I suspect one day.
Yeah. We'll get out together. We'll hide a couple of wires.
but we are allowed to extend it until we get it for, I don't even know what time it is. Oh my God. We're getting into Jerry Lewis territory. We're doing a telethon. You just here visiting, or are you working? You're very good. This is Todd's uncle. Did you know Rodney? Rodney did Todd for like 10 years. Rodney shot the video. To see Star Wars. Of course. Whose story doesn't exist that way? Oh my God. That's different. I was going to say Rodney knows this is Todd. And you bought a book just like she did. 1, 2, 3. Didn't have a chance to before. Thank you. You guys have Whose origin story doesn't Well, what is this thing? Oh, this is a crap one. Well, wait a minute. I mean, we get to start hacking some stuff down. If I interview anybody, you know, we can record on this. Yeah. 2 microphones, and if your camera still has juice, lots of juice. I mean, I don't need this. Anymore.
You don't need the box. Yeah, you don't need the board.
Oh, we can go directly into this. Saying?
Yeah, and I can go out phones into that, so you can have multiple phones.
I didn't even know. I mean, I wanted to do other interviews and stuff. I couldn't kind of like cover it. And Todd came in here, so that's what I really wanted to get when I got it. Well, yeah, I was going to see if we get like other, you know, I was going to looking at Bob Haynes, saw Bob Haynes. Yeah. We'll leave it for now. I mean, go take a nap or walk around. I'll just hang here. Make sure nothing grows legs and walks. I'm sure there are things we would have done differently, but you think?
right, let's take a walk. All right, come on.
All right, we'll walk around.
Walk around.
taking a break, but we'll probably be back up in a little bit. Oh, good luck, brother. start up again in about an hour.
Okay, gotcha.
But I think around 3 o'clock something's supposed to start happening.
Okay.
So that will start up again then.
Cool. All right. Well, we're also kind of like doing our own thing as far as like podcasting and stuff like that. We're also part of a YouTube channel called Infinity Art.
Yep.
We were wondering if we can like talk to you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, come back around 3-ish. What time is it now? Yeah, it's almost 2, so yeah, I think around 3 we'll start back up.
All right, cool.
I don't know if we'll be doing the live YouTube thing then. Maybe. We haven't decided. We had some trouble keeping a steady YouTube connection.
Okay.
Yeah, we're definitely we're gonna speak some more once something starts happening in either the costume contest or I know somebody's supposed to be swinging off of that thing after a while, but yeah, we're gonna be doing something a little bit later.
All right, man. Cool.
Come on by around 3, and I'm halfway producing it, so let me know, come to me, and then we'll get on it.
Awesome. Great.
Greg. Danny. Danny. Good to meet you, man. Corey. Chris. Good to meet you. That'll help. I can text you when we're definitely back in.
This is
great. Awesome.
That's not my number.
Which one of this is you? One of these is you?
One of them. He's kind of like our CEO type thing.
No, I know the number. This number is one of you?
No. Not one of us, but he's here.
Like, how do I reach you?
You can call that number or text that number.
I'll text
and just say this is the guy for the podcast. Okay.
Right on. All right, thanks.
much of, I don't know what that is going on in my head, but it's cool.
What's the hat? Is that
Boba Fett. I'm dressed as formal wear Boba Fett. I do. That's weird. Yeah, that's right. What's the? You know what? That's right. When I did the show at Fox, every episode I did.
Yep.
Somebody waving me over.
Overtime, you always wore the hat.
Yep. Yeah, when we did the Fox show, I just started wearing a hat, and then I wore the microphone headset thing, but there was no reason for it. I just did it. Now I did it again today. Well, I wanted to dress up, but then I was like, it'd be weird to just dress up, so I'll be like, I'm Boba Fett dressed up.
Free hat. These guys from Infinity came by, and they'd like to sit down and speak to us, and we're going to speak again.
Did you tell them that we're offline right now?
Yep. I said maybe around 3.
Did you get a chance to eat anything?
What?
Did you get a chance to eat anything?
No.
Because back at the main court, I've been there before. 2 pizzas for $10. It's the kind where the pizza goes through like the little Quiznos oven, and it comes out on the other end like this size. I'm gonna go get that. Do you want the other pizza? Because it's 2 pizzas for 10.
Yeah.
Do you want to stay here and I walk over there?
I'll stay.
Which side?
I don't know. You want to lay down? You didn't come back here. All right, thanks, man.
What do you want to drink?
I'll get another drink here when I'm ready. Thanks, Joe.
check on them. Checked it.
Do I have a check too? Good. Still have a check here? Still have? Nope. Still got a check? Ugh.
You guys were recording all day. We're taking a break for now. Yeah. 3 o'clock. We'll see. This year was going to be back here when you guys aren't set up? I wonder. That's going to be another register. And they're supposed to, we're talking about having a more permanent broadcast from over that corner. And if not, that corner maybe the back area. I think the back area is probably a better place for it, but more visible in the front. Yeah. Not so sure we want to be visible though. Radio faces. Yeah.
Check 2-1.
Well, no, I mean we want that, but it seems like the more interesting people that would have more to say would go back to play the game, hang out by the bar area, stuff like that.
This is on now.
I figured out the way to do this. So that would have been cool. I like their pizza.
was always impressed. I was always impressed. No, I came here the other night. I can't remember what night it was. Oh, it was the day before Newsday. The night before Newsday. And I had to have everything looking good for all these news cameras, yeah. And next thing I know, some artists come up here. I call up and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? She's like, I didn't know they were coming, I swear. I'm like, I'm gonna have them do something to help me out, but if they can handle it, they're out of here. And little did I know, they started with helping me out, but then they still left their mess behind for me to clean up. Yeah. I mean, just literally garbage. I throw it away, and Spider would be like upside down in the dumpster, pulling out. Look at these awesome shapes.
I knew we were gonna have you on the podcast.
It's all good, man. Everything went good though.
Yeah, we had 15 people watching us live. We were on live. Awesome. Yeah, no, we definitely want to have you on as Unimpressed Greg.
Unimpressed Greg.
Just having you get a t-shirt and you just be like, everything's so complicated.
That's funny. You guys were on live. My mom was here. And my dad had to stop her. She's like, I'm going on there. I'm going to tell my son built this place.
Oh!
I'm like, come on, Mom. I love you, but stop.
That's awesome, though. What's great is now you can, nobody, they're always getting me doing stuff, so
yeah.
You always want to have, well, now you're part of the thing, so you got to hang out at the bare minimum.
Yeah. Feels good. A lot of man hours and time went into this.
I mean, I always thought in some ways I would be like, I would go home and be like, I got it up and running. Just make sure it runs tonight. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah. Just take one day, take a deep breath.
I'm actually really stunned at the amount of people that show up.
Yeah.
I mean, stunned. I mean, I knew people would show up.
You know, I think it's actually catching Todd by surprise too, because he saw like, okay, I'm gonna have that many people throughout the whole day, but to have it consistent like it's been since opening.
Yeah, and a lot of people are calling this like a miniature con. Like in other words, you get the convention. It's like this, but far more packed, bigger. It's the same thing, guys in suits, artists. They're like, dude, it's like a miniature convention. So they're all eating it up. So I wonder if they, think this way it's going to be all the time. But I mean, again, they're always going to have events, special events.
Yeah, they should try to do it often. Yeah. Maybe once a month with an artist coming in, face painting.
And then a lot of this stuff they used to do at the other comedy shop, but it was like, there was always this idea, Like, if you ever get a chance to go to an act, you'll see the remnants of it, because they're not keeping it up. So it's like, he was always, like, after the day, because he's Todd's going to host it.
Non-stop, man. Non-stop. Yeah. They must have redid these aisles about 7 or 8 times. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the kind of dude that's like, okay, I get it, plays back. Right. And then they get me. And then tomorrow, not this level, but it starts all over again. Yeah.
Well, you have to understand. They kind of did Todd Manor wrong in the sense that they didn't give them the option to get the better epoxy paint. They said, here's a black stain, sample of it, and then they did, here's a black stain with a clear seal coat over it, which made it shiny. And they're like, oh, we love this shiny. It's beautiful. It's beautiful compared to this, which is absolutely nothing. And then they gave it to me like, whoa, that's not what we picked. Actually, it is what you picked because they put it next to a piece of shit. Right. So all it is stain on concrete. Yeah, they should have got the black epoxy, and that would have covered that in a heartbeat. Well, they got a section, they got back here done, and I called them all up. I'm like, how hard would it be to stop what we're doing with the stain, or maybe even do one coat of stain, and then go over with a black epoxy so it's done the way they want it. And it was a big ordeal. Like, the floor guy, he stopped work completely. He's like, you're trying to tell us to stop work? We need to clean the floors 100%. We just can't put epoxy on top of stain. I'm like, it's really not that big of a deal. I just asked a simple question.
Get sleep. That's the reason key to it. The biggest thing is right. But so that'll next time around that'll be improved anyway. So really, it just comes down to just better internet. And we did what we could. And then not only that, you know, we had it right now, but. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'll be around. I got like almost all my family's here, and they just keep coming in and out. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Because I've been talking about it, like, oh, every time, like, I get with family, the first thing they ask me is, oh, so how's work doing? So every time it's been the same thing. Oh yeah, I'm at Gods and Monsters. Yeah. So they get to kind of see and enjoy all your labor and all that. Something you're proud of. Yeah.
I still have more work to do here, though. I try not to think about it.
What's that?
I still have some stuff to do here, though.
I know.
Oh yeah. That's what I did. I was getting calls last night from Anna after we all left. I'm like, calm down. I'm gonna be in a little bit early. We'll do some sleeps and you'll be ready. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, she's in the back resting. I mean, that was a while ago. But I don't know if she's still back there or not. I had to go in. I went in there first for a while because like I didn't get much sleep. I don't get much sleep. I start falling apart.
When I start mumbling my words, I know it's time for me to go.
I know. I start feeling weird and tingly.